Boom. Yo, what it is, man. We are back live on Saturday night. The highlight of Saturday Night Fever, the Undisputed GOAT podcast. I got my guys, my co-hosts, my co-owners, my triple-double, the big three, Flash and BRS Books, man. How y'all doing today, bro?
I'm doing fantastic. I can't complain. Like I said, I'm living and breathing life. Things are going, work's going well-ish. So things are good, man. I can't complain.
Good.
Same here, bro. Work going pretty good. Can't complain. Well, I'll say this though. Did have a little bit of tragedy kind of strike down here. I had to work today, but my family had to go to a funeral today. Unfortunately, my little niece lost her daddy last week. So prayers and condolences to his family, and just kind of wanted to get it out there. Hadn't really had a chance to talk about it. Didn't want to talk about it too much, but the funeral was the day, so I kind of wanted to kind of get it out there. So I'm definitely sending prayers and condolences to his family. And my little niece a trooper, so she hanging in there. She because when you her age, you don't really understand it yet. But she took it hard at first, but she's doing okay. But yeah, definitely sending prayers and condolences out to his family. So, but I'm just glad to see my little niece pushing through. So I think she's gonna be all right.
Good. And while we at it, man, let's give a moment of silence for BRS family, man. These men that are on this panel, this is deeper than just a podcast. These are my brothers right here. So when they hurt, we hurt, and vice versa. So let's give a moment of silence for BRS family, man, and pay our respects. Thank you. First of all, shout out to Leaf, man. One of our go like and subscribe to Leaf Podcast, die-hard Brooklyn Nets fan, Mr. New York City, what I like to call him, my brother Leaf. And he always brings the heat, man. Shout out to him doing this thing on his podcast. Thank you for the thoughts and condolences for BRS family. Look, let's just get right into it, man. We just had one hell of a. Did y'all watch this game? The Florida versus Auburn game just a few minutes ago?
I did not watch it. So what y'all tell me, I'm about to practically learn about what happened pretty much.
Hey man, look, Walter Clayton Jr., man, that dude got off. 34 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. That was just amazing. And the thing is, Auburn could have won the game still, but those turnovers just killed them in the second half. But you start to wonder if Bruce Pearl is crestfallen at this point, because it's just like he gets almost there and then he just can never reach the natty at a certain point, man. It's just like so.
Just the turnovers, and it was a good game throughout for the most part. And it's pretty basic in any game. Just turn. In any sport, football, basketball, don't turn the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's unfortunately that's what happened with Auburn. It's not PSP.
What's up, PSP?
Yeah. So, great game. Great by Florida. So now we got Duke coming up. So Duke and Houston. So let's see what happens.
Hey, and ironically, Houston suffers the same fate at times. They'll get very, very close to near no cigar. We saw that all the way back in the Phi Slamma Jamma days with Clyde Drexler and Hakeem Olajuwon. So it's just like they'll get close, but it is just so far. So I mean, let's hope they can get over the hump with Duke tonight. But hey, with Cooper Flag out there, I highly doubt it. So just being real.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Sports PSP podcast, man. Like I said on many of occasions, if it wasn't for Sports PSP podcast, there would not be an Undisputed GOAT podcast. Got to give credit where credit is due. So big shout out. Over 100,000 followers. The road to 1 million has just begun. And Leaf, we're going to get to that a little bit later. But look, I know we don't cover hockey a lot, man, but it's one of my favorite sports, man. You got to be, look, I'm just going to be real. I love football, but you got to be a grown man to play hockey, bro. You got to be a grown man. You got to have balance. You got to have skill in order to play hockey. So let's just get right into it, man. So Alex Ovechkin just tied Wayne Gretzky's record. And first of all, big ups to Wayne Gretzky, because people don't understand this. He's so great. He doesn't even like being called great. That's how great he is. It's just like, that's why, one of my first videos to go viral on TikTok was, the only undisputed GOAT in sports is Wayne Gretzky. And he's so great. Everybody calls him the great one and call him the greatest of all time. He doesn't even like to be called that. Every time somebody says, here's the great one, it was like, no, Wayne is okay. He did the same thing in Mighty Ducks. If you go back and watch that movie, that was kind of unscripted as well. But Alex Ovechkin ties Wayne Gretzky's record. Is he now in the GOAT convo at this point? Whoever wants to go first.
Honestly, for me, it's still, even though you have Alex Ovechkin, you have Sidney Crosby, who I think are the two modern era guys who, if you wanted to throw them in the conversation, you really could. Wayne Gretzky's aura, to me, for the NHL is still in a tier amongst itself. So I'm going to respectfully say no, because in Wayne Gretzky's time at his peak, there wasn't a player in his stratosphere at his peak. The dude was so great. You know how the Hall of Fame is like, when you retire, it's the 5-year rule and then they put you in. They literally said, screw that. We're going to put you in 1 year. That's how great Wayne Gretzky was. They put him in the year after he retired. That's how great Wayne Gretzky was. So if you want to talk about, I don't know. I think with Alex Ovechkin tying the record, it kind of like there's like the saying, I guess the gap isn't as big, but it's still a tremendous gap to me. And it's crazy because Alex Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby have had unbelievable careers. I mean, Ovechkin finally got his Stanley Cup like a couple years back or so. Crosby has 3, and I said this last night on the PSP podcast. The reason why I would take as an overall player, I would take Sidney Crosby over Alex Ovechkin is the all around game. It's the fact that Sidney Crosby is honestly, he didn't have to be a scorer, but the fact that he is as good a scorer as Alex Ovechkin, as far as putting the puck in the net, his playmaking and his IQ and being able to get his teammates involved is like one of the best we've ever seen in terms of being able to get his teammates involved. So if anything, I think Sidney Crosby is a better overall player than Alex Ovechkin, to be honest with you. But I think as far as GOAT conversation, I still think it's Wayne Gretzky and everybody else. But I think seeing Alex Ovechkin tie this record, I think is well deserved, because I'm gonna be honest with you. Even though I think Sidney Crosby is a better overall player than Alex Ovechkin, when Alex Ovechkin came into the league and I was still watching some hockey, he was my favorite player to watch, because I like his intensity. I like his ability. Like, he kind of like, for me, it's like when you look at certain basketball players and certain scores, it's like, who could get me a bucket? You know what I'm saying? It's like, who could get me a bucket? like your Carmelo Anthony's of the world, your Kobe Bryant's of the world. If you're just talking about just pure scoring the basketball, and for me, Alex Ovechkin is like that when it comes to hockey. As far as like his goal scoring, it's like give me somebody that can just put the puck in the net. And Alex Ovechkin was just like seeing him get this record. I feel like is definitely well deserved. And I mean when he retires, he's definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer when he retires. So I mean that's not even a conversation. But Wayne Gretzky, man, he's like it's crazy when a player was so good for so long, and now you see these guys on the come up having these ridiculous careers, and me still saying I don't think they should be in the GOAT conversation because Wayne Gretzky was just like that at his peak. So yeah, I'm going to respectfully say no. I still don't think either one's in the GOAT conversation. I think Wayne Gretzky is just him. He's just him. And just yeah, I mean that's real. I can't really emphasize that anymore. Wayne Gretzky at his peak was him, and I don't think there's really nothing else to say. So I'm gonna respectfully say no.
Flash.
No, I won't even say it respectfully. I don't think it's close. Again, this goes back to how I feel about when it comes to the GOAT conversation. I don't even think you to even be part of the conversation or be the next GOAT or to surpass the next GOAT, you better clear that person. And I mean like clear them by a lot. And Wayne Gretzky, a lot of people say that he is the GOAT of GOATs. He is so far ahead of everybody else that it's not even close. I mean, I don't think there was anybody else to say that there was nobody else in his sphere. Mario Lemieux was, if Mario Lemieux doesn't get sick, there's a Manning Brady type thing there.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Manning Brady is Lemieux in the conversation of GOAT? No, but I think if Lemieux doesn't get sick, he is farther up on that thing, and it's a very Brady Manning type feel to it. But no, I just think Gretzky is just so good, and so it's like when you think of hockey, that's who you think of. It's the Jordan factor. It's the Jordan. I mean, you mentioned it briefly about the aura thing. Like when you think basketball, you think Michael Jordan. Like that's it. And so it's so hard to when somebody is cemented as a sports figurehead, it's so hard to even exactly Leaf. It's just he's basically Jordan. Like it's so hard to get into that conversation with that person because that aspect of him is almost unattainable because you associate, like you look up in the dictionary hockey, it's going to be a picture of Wayne Gretzky. Like you can't surpass that. So and that's the hard part. And that's the thing. It's, as good as Ovi's going to be as Crosby or even the kid in Chicago, like let's say Connor
Bedard.
Yeah, Connor Bedard. Like even if he's like, it's so hard to surpass that. Like when Gretzky was traded from the Oilers to the Kings, it was like worldly news.
Yeah.
Like it's one of the biggest sports pop culture moments in history. So like if Ovi gets traded, it's, I mean, if he got traded, like, let's say in his prime, does it even make a dent really I mean, does it even make close to, like, do they make a 30 for 30 about that? No, they don't. So you just can't compare. It's again, somebody would have to clear him by leaps and bounds to even just be even part of the conversation. Yeah. So
yeah. The funny thing about Wayne Gretzky is this: if he never scored a goal, he still have the most points in NHL history.
Yeah.
If he never scored a goal,
That's insane to me.
That's like some of Tony Gwynn's stats in baseball.
Yeah,
Like that's the thing of just it's almost absurd. That's how far and away.
So look, I told you, look, I ain't dropped the pipe bomb on y'all in a long time. So here it is. So now that we have the undisputed GOAT, since we all agree that he's not in that GOAT conversation with Wayne, let's do a start bitch cut real quick. Who you starting, who you benching, who you cutting? Start bitch cut. Alex O, Sidney Crosby, or Roy Messier. Start bitch cut.
I think I'm cutting Messier. I'm starting Crosby, and I'm benching Ovi.
Same.
Okay.
I don't really think it's that. I agree with BRF that Crosby's probably the overall better player, and that's why I start him. Again, that kind of goes with the. I mean, he's got the 3 titles. He has he had concussion issues for a while, which kind of, hurt his career a little bit.
I will say this about Crosby: if he doesn't have those concussion issues, conversations possible with him because he has the championships. It's possible because he has the championships. The dude still almost scored. I mean, he still almost scored 800 goals. He has all the assists, but then you add the accolades, the championships with that. He has a more well-rounded career than Alex Ovechkin, which is why I'm taking him over him in the first place.
I think
possibly. I'm still going to say no, but possibly.
I think if he doesn't have the concussion issues, I think it cements him as the greatest player of his era.
Easily.
But yes. I still don't think he squeaks into that. I mean, maybe he squeaks into that Lemieux.
He's in that tier.
Yeah, he's in that does he surpass that? Does he surpass the Lemieux, the old school guys? My brain's just
Howie.
Lemieux, Bobby Orr,
yeah. Does he? Then he surpasses that second tier. Then yes, and so then it would be probably if he doesn't have his concussion, it's probably Gretzky, Crosby, and then that tier of Lemieux or Bobby, that and that Ovi, that tier. Then Patrick Waugh, that tier of
Patrick Waugh, Dominic Hasek, guys like that.
Then you're getting to that next tier of all right, fine, Jaromir Jagr,
yeah.
And then you're kind of getting to that next tier because then it's just those two. So I think it's fair to just say Crosby is the starter.
Okay, no problem. Hey, I agree with you guys 100%, man. And one thing I have to give credit for, like I said, I know I said this before, but you got to give a lot of credit to the NHL community, man. Those guys are together. Those guys are one. And they're from different nations. One guy might be from Canada. One guy might be from the United States. One guy might be from Russia. One guy might be from Miami. But those guys really rally behind each other, and they really speak up for their sport. Like I said, Wayne Gretzky made sure he was at the game in order to shake Alex Ovechkin's hand. He said that Gordie Howe was there when he broke his record, and he made sure that he was going to be there when Alex Ovechkin broke his. So big ups for Wayne Gretzky, man. And like I said, man, Wayne Gretzky is so good that it bothers him when people call him great. That's how good. I mean, we can only hope to be that humble, because the thing is, if you really look, there's been record of him saying a lot of players were better than he was. But when you look at him, what are you talking about? It's nobody can surpass you. But that's how humble he is. It's he's so great that he doesn't. He kind of shrugs off his own greatness. It's and that's how cool he is. It's you call him the great one, he almost gets offended. It's kind of like that. That's an oral. Anybody can walk with their chest out and I am great. But when you can be that humble it's something to be said about that, man. So big shout out to the GOAT of all GOATs, Wayne Gretzky, man. And
Yeah,
like I said,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's like I said earlier. They relaxed the 5-year Hall of Fame rule for him. He was so good.
hey, when you're that good, you can't. Hey, the rules get bent for you, and who better than Wayne Gretzky to have the rules bent for him? I mean, is this jersey retired throughout the NHL?
I don't think so, but it should be.
I think
Yeah.
he's the only. I think he's the only player that has it retired by 3 different teams, though.
Yeah, he has it. Yeah, he had. Yeah, Oilers, Kings, and New York Rangers. But he should have his jersey universally retired.
You know what? Now you say not. No, you're wrong. I could be talking out of my butt right now, but I think there was talk about doing that, and he turned it down.
He probably turned it down.
I think.
Oh, let me look that up.
I don't know why that rings a bell. Wayne Gretzky retired. League.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Oh no! No, it is actually, yes, it actually is retired throughout the whole league.
It's universally retired. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
It happened in 2000.
Okay. Well, good. It should have been.
Yeah.
Okay.
I forgot about that. It should have been. Good. It needed to be.
Yeah. It needed to be.
Okay. Nope. Okay. So, all right. I thought there was a big hubbub about that, and he didn't want it at first or something, which that sounds very Wayne Gretzky-ish.
Yeah. Like I said, when you so great, you shrug off your own greatness and push that on everybody else. That goes to show you how great you really are. Yeah. But I gotta ask y'all this question, man, and this is something as a hockey fan that really kind of bothers me at a certain point. As y'all know, I'm an LA Kings fan to the core. We've been doing real good as of lately, but I gotta ask y'all this. This is a huge record, and Wayne Gretzky is the GOAT of GOATs. Like I said, he's the only undisputed GOAT in sports. It's just like when you say GOAT, there's no argument. Wayne Gretzky. I mean, he was so good. I never forget this. They said 30 for 30. Go look at it. King's Ransom. It came out in the late 2000s. I never forget. John Candy, the late great John Candy, had called the LA Kings box office. He said, I want LA Kings season tickets. He said, do you even watch? And the guy had, do you even watch hockey? He said, no, but Wayne Gretzky just got traded to LA. I want to see him. So I got to ask y'all this. With him having that type of impact, not only on the sport itself, but worldwide, why is this record not receiving media attention like LeBron did when he broke Kareem's record?
I actually disagree with this. So my most viral TikTok on my channel was a video. I am stitching a video of Nick Wright complaining that nobody cared that LeBron was breaking Kareem's record. I actually think Ovi doing this has gotten more attention, especially relative to how popular comparably the NBA is to the NHL.
Yeah.
Like the NBA, for all the lack of viewership right now, is still debatably the second or third most popular sport in the country. Yeah. And if you go worldwide, then we're really talking it's way more popular than, yeah, it's still, it's more popular than hockey overall, even though hockey's really big. But so I actually think that Ovi has gotten the right amount of coverage with this, considering how the NHL, I think this year has been a banner year for the NHL. Besides the All-Star game with the All-Star tournament between the
Four Nations.
Four Nations.
I love that. I loved it.
Four Nations, that went as I don't care that Canada won and everything like that. That was just cool as shit. So, and then to have somebody match the GOAT, this has been a great banner year. So I actually think this has gotten a lot of attention. Whereas I think LeBron breaking Kareem's record, there wasn't long ago that everybody thought that Kareem's record would never be broken. And it was broken, and everybody was just, and I made a video about that too. Nobody cares because the Lakers at the time, they kind of stunk. And LeBron's just got that, people just kind of don't. I don't know. People just don't kind of care. I don't know why people just don't care for some reason. I also think Kareem, like Gretzky is, again, I go back to like Gretzky hockey. That's like peanut butter and jelly. Oddly enough, Kareem, and it's talked about, and there's been articles written about this, and even documentaries, that Kareem, when the GOAT conversation comes up in basketball, he's weirdly left out.
Yeah, he is. And
there's look, I think Jordan is the GOAT. Like that, I'm not going to get in that argument right now. But there's an argument that he's two.
Yes, there is. And like I said before,
not just a meh one. No, it's Kareem. Like it's a solid argument.
If you really look at it, in my humble opinion, the greatest player of all time is Michael Jordan. But if you want to talk about the greatest basketball story of all time, it's Kareem. Was the top player recruited out of high school, went to UCLA, played for the most renowned team in the NCAA, played up under legendary coach John Wooden, won, I think it was like over 100 games when he was there, and then won 3 straight NCAA titles, then goes to the NBA, wins one with the great Oscar Robertson, then goes out there to Los Angeles and is part of one of the greatest dynasties in history. Then you are the all-time leading scorer with only scoring 1 3-point shot. So it's basketball story. It's the greatest story that you ever want to have. I mean, it's talked about. I mean,
his resume is insane.
The real reason why I think Kareem gets left out is because he was so stoic. He was very, very stoic. There was no personality when it came to Kareem.
It's like it's like Tim Duncan.
Yeah, it was just really, really no personality. It was like, and that dude, Mr. Abdul-Jabbar, he despised the media.
Oh, he hated the media, and
he despised the media.
And the media, in retaliation, kind of buried him in a way.
Yeah,
it's actually kind of sad. Like, and so it's one of those things that it, again, he just gets kind of forgot. It's very much like Tim Duncan. Everybody talks about Kobe. Again, and I'll go to my grave on this. Kobe's not even the best of his era. That's Tim Duncan. So. And Tim Duncan gets left off that conversation too because
personality.
He's just personality. He's just Mr. Fundamental.
It's
odd.
Yeah, and he played in a small market too. They were not necessarily the darlings of the NBA. They weren't the darlings of it. It is just like it's kind of crazy when you think about it. It's just like when you think about the 2000s, you think about everybody's going to talk about Shaq and Kobe. And then at the end of the era, they're going to they'll say back to back without Shaq. But in between that time, it's like, the Spurs. But the thing is, I will say this though, and this is not just me being a homer, but I'm just going to be very, very honest. If you really think about it, the dominant team during that era was the Lakers. And if you really, really think about it, San Antonio won after the Lakers started going south. At their peak, they couldn't beat them. During the three-peat.
No, with Shaq? No.
Yeah, they couldn't beat during the peak of it, they couldn't beat them. And then when Kobe finally got help with Gasol, they couldn't beat him then. So it's just like, we talk about, Kobe versus Tim Duncan, but the thing is, the Spurs didn't win until after the Lakers started going south. It's just like when you think about the tournament, when you think about 99, that was after the Bulls dynasty. When you think about when they finally won when Tim Duncan finally won his second one with David Robinson, and I think it was in 2003. That was when the team was kind of depleted on the Lakers' part. Then when you think about in 2005, the Lakers were nowhere near a playoff team. And then you think about So understandably, they get left out. But when you think about those Spurs team, it was like after the Lakers went south. It's like after the Lakers went south and they weren't at their best at that point.
Yeah.
Think about it.
I mean, yes and no. I mean, and when we're just arguing Kobe, Shaq, no, you're right. Duncan never did win back-to-back. You're true. But I here's the other thing. When you say who's the best power forward of all time, who's the answer?
It's Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan.
Ever since a lot of stuff came out about the second greatest guy, he's the undisputed greatest. I mean, but even without all that other weird stuff by Mr. Elbows, Duncan is and that's the thing. He ended up being the greatest power forward of all time. So yes, Kobe head-to-head was 18-12 ahead of Duncan. I don't know how many of that was with Shaq. I'd have to really dig into that a little bit more. But when you end up being the greatest power forward of all time and versus Kobe, who is the second greatest shooting guard of all time. Yeah. Second.
Yeah.
That kind of evens it out a little bit, or kind of trumps the playoff record. It kind of depends how you look at it. I think, look, no disrespect to Kobe, this is or his family or anything else. I mean this in no way. At the end of his life made people boost his like he wasn't in the GOAT conversation until he passed. Like that was the thing. Like it was not really.
He was, but the thing I'll never forget after he won number 5, people was talking about that. The thing is, the media understood this. Kobe wasn't the media darling from 2004 to 2000 until after he came back from that Olympic team. He wasn't a media darling.
No, you're right. He wasn't. No, he
wasn't a media darling because of what happened in Colorado, number one, and his beef with Shaq, his beef with teammates and stuff like that. So they understood, the media understood that because there's some years where he pretty much carried his team to the playoffs. And he nearly, if that team doesn't blow that lead against Phoenix, he pretty much gets them past, and I think he wins that MVP because the Phoenix Suns were arguably the best team that year in 2007. So the thing is, Kobe wasn't a media darling then, so he didn't win as many MVPs as a LeBron or a Michael Jordan because he wasn't a media darling due to a lot of the stuff with Shaq, the Colorado incident, and his reputation with teammates. So that's why I say that he was in the GOAT conversation, especially because when everybody was starting talking about the quest for 6, people was he's gonna tie Michael Jordan, he's gonna be more in the conversation. So yeah, I mean, I got to give credit where credit is due. But what says you, BRL? Why is this record being broken, not getting enough media attention? To be honest with you.
Honestly, I'm with Flash on this. I think it's at first, this is what I'll say. At first, I didn't think it would because it's hockey in the American media landscape. But just kind of looking at it though, and kind of seeing the attention that it receives, I'm actually shocked that it's being talked about the way it is. But I'm pleasantly. It's a pleasant shock. Yeah. Because Alex Ovechkin deserves this. He deserves this. He's been the best player in the league. If I would say, no worse. He's been at his peak. No worse. He was never less than a top 3 player in the world at his peak. The majority of his career at his peak. He was no worse than 3rd. And honestly, might as well say top 2. It was him and Sidney. It was him and Sidney, neck and neck. It was always him and Sidney, him and Sidney. So I'm actually been pleasantly surprised, but I'm happy that it's getting the attention that it's getting. Because yeah, like I said, at first I was thinking, hockey, American media landscape. I didn't think it would, but it's surprising how much that people are talking about it. And Wayne Gretzky being there to help him bring it in and celebrate it. It's just that's when you truly see and you're pleasantly reminded about the type of person Wayne Gretzky is. Because he didn't have to go out his way like that, but he chose to, because that's respect. That's the brotherhood of the NHL. That is the brotherhood of the NHL. Like Gordie, like when he broke Gordie Howe's scoring record, Gordie Howe showed up, shook his hand, showed him all the respect in the world. Of course, being the man Wayne Gretzky is, he's going to show up to Alex Ovechkin's game to where he's going to tie the record, shake his hand, give him his respect, take a picture with him. I mean, that's the NHL as a brotherhood as a whole, and that's the legacy of both of these players. And it's great to know that we have that image, we have that picture of Ovechkin and Wayne Gretzky together. And I think Ovechkin's family, I think his kids are in that picture with him, just to have something that you could just frame and immortalize. And it's well deserved. So I actually think the attention that it's been getting has surprised me. I will say, if it didn't, it would have been because of the hockey American media landscape. But surprisingly, I'm glad people are talking about this. They're talking about this a lot more than I was anticipating. But I'm glad they're doing it. So it's actually getting pretty decent coverage. Yeah, and with the LeBron thing, it was one of those things where it's like, LeBron is like so polarizing as a player. He might be the most polarizing player the NBA has ever been witness to having played for the league. He might be the most polarizing player ever, because it's like you have those that ride or die with him, that support him, that will tell you that he's the GOAT. Some people will tell you, like, and you got those diehards that'll tell you he had already been the GOAT 3-4 years ago. But then you have those that are like, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum with LeBron. You have some people that I don't know where they're getting it from. I in no way, shape, or form condone the opinion that I've seen some people say LeBron's not a top 20 player of all time. That's foolishness. That's a lie. That should not be said. That should not. Yeah, that's foolish. That's foolishness.
There's no argument that you can actually that has him out of the top 5.
There's no argument that has him out the top. Yeah, you know what? For me, y'all were talking about Kareem. Hold on.
Stop it, a champ.
3? Yeah. LeBron's no worse than third. For me, the conversation is Mike, Braun, Kareem. That's it. I understand if you want to put if you want to put someone like a Duncan in, or because he's the greatest power forward of all time, or like Magic still being in those talks of greatest point guard of all time. But it's Magic, Jordan, Kareem for me. The GOAT conversation for me has been 3 for a while. That's it. That's what it's been for me. That's what it's been. What's your
opinion, Flash?
What?
What's your opinion, Flash?
On the Obi record, or just the top 5 thing?
Yeah, the top 5 thing.
I mean, I think that it's Jordan and then kind of everybody else, because I think Kareem's got, you got Kareem, Magic, Bird, Kobe, Duncan, Shaq is is the most dominant force. I honestly, right now, what Jokic is doing, he's starting to seriously get, like, if he wins another MVP and a title this year, like, he's starting to create. We had a conversation of where he ranks in is he the top center of all time? It's starting to get there, where what he's doing on a basketball court is utterly insane. I think the next 4 after Jordan is a little bit more. I mean, we're forgetting Wilt. I think it's a little bit more of a clouded picture than just those 3. Do I think that those 3 have probably the strongest argument? More than likely. But But I think just to leave Duncan, Bird, Magic, Kobe out of that like number 3 spot really is just, I mean,
injustice.
It kind of like it honestly, if you straight up asked me if you were going to start a franchise or like if you wanted to win a title or a 7-game series with Bird, Magic, or LeBron, I'm picking Bird or Magic over LeBron just to win a series. I mean, is LeBron a better basketball player? Sure. I mean, on some levels, I mean, he's a way better defender than Magic ever was. Bird is a highly underrated defender. His defense actually gets like crapped on, which is insane. But like overall, like if I'm gonna win a series or win the finals, I'm picking those guys, and that matters in the argument. Again, that doesn't make them clear LeBron. I just think it's part of the argument. So I don't think it's as cut and dry as we've like kind of, it's like when people just kind of dismiss, and we're kind of coming up on that conversation of old school versus new school a little bit. Like people talk about like, you know, Steph is the greatest point. Like everybody forgets how good John Stockton was. Like everybody just like, like, and it's like, it's just very odd. So I think it's again, a little bit more clouded. That's all I'm going to say. Just clouded. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I have to agree to disagree on that. I just think the resumes of Mike, Braun, and Kareem. I don't know. Maybe I don't see it, but I suppose. I don't think it is, but yeah.
That's fine. I just, you know, like I always look at it this way. Like for even when we consider the greatest quarterbacks of all time, like obviously there's Brady and everybody else, but like everybody forgets about Johnny Unitas, you know, and how he should be in that conversation.
Yes.
So I just think, I always think the conversation is a little bit more clouded. Like I think there's the guy and then kind of everybody else. And yes, you have your other guys that are okay. Yeah, he's a clear problem. Like Montana's probably the clear number 2, but you know, then it gets really clouded in that conversation. Like there's an argument for, you know, Elway and an argument for Marino and Manning and Rodgers and Breeze and you can kind of just, you know, go around. I think Peyton Manning is the clear number 2, but yeah. And I respectfully disagree on that because I think Montana was the person that Brady had to surpass was Montana, and Manning never passed Montana, so in any form or fashion. So only well, championships, yes, but everything else, come on, man. Championships, yeah, but everything else, come on, man. The career speaks for itself. Yeah, I don't know. Like Manning he was a great regular season quarterback. But if I'm trying to win a Super Bowl, then I'm picking Joe Montana, and that's that name of the game.
I will respectfully disagree with that, BRF, because the thing is, like I said, look, the key in the 80s to winning a Super Bowl, it went through Montana.
Yeah.
Indianapolis, despite that offensive and defensive firepower, they were very, very beatable. I mean, they were very beatable.
By Pittsburgh, too.
Well, not only that, I mean, there's some teams. I remember they got beat to sleep by the Giants 34-0. They didn't even score a point. I mean, I remember they got beat by the Tennessee Titans. You know, it wasn't just – people don't realize this. It wasn't just Brady that was beating the brakes off of Peyton Manning. Everybody was beating his ass. So it's
honestly, you look at those 2 Super Bowls, he played like ass in both.
So yeah, and then I mean, it was really, if you really look at it, and if you really want me to be honest, he had more offensive firepower than Joe Montana himself. His first 2 Super Bowls, Joe Montana did not have not one Hall of Famer on that team.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
His first 2 Super Bowls, he didn't have one Hall of Famer at the skill position.
I also just think that, again, I think Brady had to clear Montana. Once Brady cleared him, like Manning would have had to get a third ring to be in the conversation with Montana. And the fact that he never got a third ring and honestly never played well in the Super Bowl for that fashion. I think Manning is top 5.
Yeah.
I think Manning's top 5. Absolutely. It's Brady, Montana, and then it gets cloudy. So then it's like you could make a complete argument that he's 3. Like a really good argument that he's 3. But then like I could go back and I go like prime Aaron Rodgers. Like it's cool to hate Aaron Rodgers now, but let's not forget
he was that dude at one point. It's just
he was
that dude.
Like everybody talks about how like Patrick Mahomes is the most gifted quarterback ever, and I'm like, go back and watch prime Aaron Rodgers. That dude, for as good as Mahomes is, and great, but if you look at just what Rodgers could do with a football, I don't think Mahomes could even do some of the stuff that Rodgers could do in his prime. So then you got Breeze, who almost kind of gets forgotten in that conversation. Again, you've got Unitas, Elway, Marino. Marino's the exception to the rule that everybody talks about. Like, man, if he just had an ounce of talent around him, he probably would have won multiple rings. So Otto Graham, Roger Staubach, there's just, I know the dude never won a ring, but I don't think Jim Kelly gets the credit that he deserves. Don't get me wrong, I have a healthy respect for Manning as a Brady lover. Massive healthy respect for Manning. But to say he's the clear number 2, when I think it's Brady, Montana, and then after that you can
So speaking of old school, new school, you know what? Next week we're gonna discuss this a little bit more because we'll be here all day about this. We're gonna discuss the top 10 of all time. We will discuss
because as great as Montana was in the playoffs, I get that, but y'all still ain't persuaded me. So, but we'll have to move on that one.
Okay.
because okay, all right. So here's my thing, and this is I completely understand it. But if you're gonna look at, but here's my thing though, it's just the peak. It's the peak of Peyton Manning and everything he did in his entire career. You break the touchdown record twice. You win all the MVPs. I feel like the greatest regular season quarterback of all time. Look, I feel like this. I get it with the championships, but that's also a team thing. Sometimes you can't control that, and you can't always control that. And another thing with that is, we talk about the offensive firepower of the Indianapolis Colts. I get that, but I'm gonna ask y'all one question.
Yeah.
When you look at Peyton Manning and you look at what was asked of him being an offensive coordinator out on the field at the quarterback position, how many quarterbacks in that era do you know could come in right now and be given the same responsibilities as a Peyton Manning and run that offense the same?
Jim Kelly, because he did it.
Yeah.
To that level.
And Joe Montana. At one point, after Bill Walsh left, he was the offense coordinator on the field.
And Brady.
Yeah. So a lot of those guys call their own plays. And the thing is, like I said,
but y'all said Jim Kelly, y'all said Joe Montana. I said that era, Manning's era. I'll give you Brady. That's it. I said his era. I'll give you Brady. That's it.
Breeze. He was doing it in college at Purdue.
Yeah.
I don't. But Breeze is not. But for me, Breeze is not better than Peyton Manning.
No, I don't disagree. I think Manning clears Breeze. Don't get me wrong. I'm just answering your question. That's all. That's all I'm doing. I'm not making an argument that Breeze is better than Manning. I'm answering your question.
I don't agree, but I hear you.
That's it. I think I think I'm just answering the question.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Manning, what I could listen, the 3 guys that I could listen to talk about how the game works all day. As much as I hate on Aaron Rodgers right now, listening to Rodgers, Brady, and Manning talk about the game of football and how they see it, I could listen to them all day. the way that they are able. I don't think that there are three people that have seen the game on a player level like those three have in any era. I think that those three literally are able to process information on a like Einstein type level of football when you listen to them talk about it. And so I get what you're saying. And yes, Manning's, but I look at, like, if you want to talk about peaks, look at Aaron Rodgers' run in 2010 when they went on to win the title. Look on Rodgers' run when he was winning his MVPs, like in his prime, and some of the stuff that he was able to do on a football field and his peak. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do think we like peak Peyton Manning is, and thanks, PSP.
PSP.
I think Manning. I don't know. I agree. Like, peak Peyton Manning is something to behold, and I didn't even think peak Peyton Manning was at Denver. Like, I think that gets all the attention because, one, it's the most recent, and on top of it, it's just they have the scoring record for a little while. But peak Peyton Manning, you go back to his prime in Indy when he's got Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne and Dallas Clark and that whole, Marcus Pollard and that whole brigade, like that dude. Peak Peyton Manning was something to behold. Like, to watch him and Brady go back, like, we are so blessed as sports fans to be able to grew up, and I saw it live one time out in New England, to be able to see those two go at it for 15, 16, 17 years or however long it was. That was a massive blessing. Like, I wish I could relive all of that without knowing what happened, because it was I don't think we'll ever see that type of rivalry ever, maybe in the NFL. And where there's two players at that type of peak at the same time. Like,
yeah. That was special.
That was
so special. I mean, I know one thing. If I played offensive line, I could not play offensive line with Peyton Manning. I'm just gonna be real with you, bro. You stop changing that damn play. You changed play about three. You got about 3-4 double audibles. You got an audible here. I don't know. Those offensive line that Peyton Manning had on that team, they had to be brilliant, because there's no way I could have kept up with all of my damn audibles. There's just no way.
It's like just everybody talks about Jason Kelce as the greatest center of all time. Like, and he is.
Put some respect on Jeff Saturday's name, bro.
I was just about to say, Jeff Saturday, it doesn't get as much like that he made that Indianapolis Colts and Peyton Manning's life a lot easier. Jeff Saturday was again one of the greatest centers of all time.
Yeah. You know what? Let's stick to football right about now, man. Since we're already on football, let's stick to football, man. So, hey, this affects me and you.
Yeah, give it to me, champ. Give it to me, champ. I know it. Give it to me, because you know I'm about ready to brag on my homie. So go and get it out.
So Julio Jones, he finally retired. Should his jersey be retired by the Atlanta Falcons?
Nobody else should ever touch 11 for the Atlanta Falcons. Not a soul. Nobody else should ever touch 11. No.
Mac 11. Hey, I never forget, man. I was sitting behind some New Orleans fans when he finally played them. When I finally got to go to a Falcons game and see him play, and I was yelling out on the field, Mac 11, Mac 11, get a ball to Mac, and everybody started saying Mac 11. I never forget, at their peak, I called it Maddie's Arsenal. I called remember, because we had Mohamed Sanu, we had
the 2016 squad.
Yeah, I never forget. Actually, Muhammad Sanu responded to me and started calling himself 12 gauge.
Oh, that's sweet.
He
That's
started
nice.
calling himself 12 gauge.
That's nice. You know what? I can't even back Mac 11 and 12 gauge. I can't even be mad at that nickname coming. That's pretty
I
cool.
called him Mac 11 and 12 gauge.
But I'll say this though for Julio Jones, that's not even my favorite nickname that Julio's been given.
What?
If Calvin Johnson was Megatron, Julio Jones was Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. That is like my favorite Julio Jones nickname. The first time somebody dropped Optimus Prime, and I'm just like, dude, that is so perfect. That is so perfect. So every time I use a nickname with Julio Jones, I always use Optimus Prime. I always use it because it fit him. It fit him to a T.
Only problem that I had with Julio, and it was not his fault. I know he was allergic to the end zone, but it seemed like the closer we got to the end zone, they start doubling and tripling his behind. Like every single time. It's like, can we get Julio a touchdown? I'm like, well, they got to triple down in coverage. And you started seeing they start putting special zones, especially when we played New Orleans. That's why I hate New Orleans to this day. But especially when we played New Orleans, they put all types of special zones in there in order to prevent him from getting the touchdown. So when people say, I always say he was allergic to the end zone, but I say that jokingly because I realize it's like 3 guys that's on him at this point. So they had to get other guys the ball. So it's just like, it's crazy. But,
which is why fans need to quit crapping on Matt Ryan. I saw somebody like, well, if Julio Jones had a better quarterback, he'd be the greatest wide receiver of all time. I almost went on that comment section. Boy, if you don't shut the hell up, I hate Atlanta Falcons fans, and hate is a strong word. I know this, but I absolutely hate their dislike of Matt Ryan. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. I hate it because it's like that man had to come in and replace Michael Vick, who was already like a cult hero in Atlanta. He came in and replaced him. And from day one, just played and won games, got us to 2 NFC title games, won an NFC title, and everybody just wants to just remember him for Super Bowl 51. And I'm like, if you're going to do that, you did not watch that man play
again
for the 14 years he was in Atlanta. Y'all did not watch him.
Yeah, I am all for it's the
he's a Hall of he is a Hall of Famer right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You should have seen. It's like the argument that I put forth when this is before Jordan Love's first year, and all the Bears fans were all like chirping and talking about Justin Fields and blah 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 blah. And I made a video about how, like, you know, Bears fans need to calm their tits a little bit because, you know, you're sitting there and talking all this garbage like we've been pumping out quarterbacks for the last like 35 years. So, you know, let's I'm like, the Packers are one of the most well-run organizations of the past 30 to 40 years. And the comments were like, only 2 Super Bowls, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, dude, like, again, the level of disrespect for just really good or great players because they're not Mahomes or like Brady or something on that kind of level is just
exactly.
Insane. It's insane.
It's insane.
It's so stupid. It's the like, well, they're not Brady or Mahomes. Yeah, nobody is. Duh. I'm just saying the dude was still great. Like yes, Matt Ryan lost to the greatest quarterback of all time in the Super Bowl.
Because his defense was on the field for 94 plays and couldn't make a stop.
Yeah. Against the greatest quarterback of all time.
Against the greatest quarterback of all time.
I mean, you could fault him for taking that sack, but like that dude's run in that playoff series, in that whole playoff run, was insane. Even that Super Bowl, he played really well. Like stupid.
He was like, yeah, in that Super Bowl, I think it was like 17. He was like 17 to 23 for like almost 3 bills and those 2 touchdowns. I mean, he played immaculate still.
Yeah. So I'm just like this again. It's like, well, they're not the GOAT. Well, no, of course they're not the fucking GOAT. But that's what makes me mad is just like sports fans now. it's like when I see buttholes get on here, and they're like that. I can't remember the dude's name, but he was like he went viral on TikTok, and he was making his rounds. This was a couple of years ago. It's like Brett Favre's not an all-time quarterback, blah. And I'm just like, I don't. When you say stupid shit like that, like I can't respect you as a human being. Like then you're just saying stuff just to say stuff. You're just spewing garbage for the sake of
it's like how are you not an all-time quarterback with 3 MVP awards?
Yeah, it's like there was one dude that like said he was part of I think that like a podcast that we did like last year, and he was one of his videos went viral for saying that like Bird wasn't an all-time great or something like that. And I'm just like, what did you like? And it's just, and this stuff again, this is the problem with the modern sports fan, content.
We're in like the ring culture era.
Well, it's not even the ring culture era. Like I would call it the fantasy sports era.
Yeah,
that too.
It's like, well, he doesn't put up fantasy numbers. Well, I don't care. Like,
what? Who wins games? That's what matters.
I don't care. Like, well, he did poorly on my fantasy team. I don't know. And then I guess again, that's.
I want to do some research on it. I want to see, since the FanDuel DraftKings era started, I want to see in terms of all-time fantasy football seasons, I want to see where 2016 Matt Ryan ranks. I'm gonna have to research that, and I want to see that. And just because like I've seen some like somebody posted like the 10 greatest like fantasy football games of all time by a wide receiver, like full points per reception, half points by reception, and it's crazy. Because the Julio Jones 2016 game against the Carolina Panthers, 12 catches, 300 yards, and like 1 touchdown. I don't even think it cracks the top 10 all time in like full points per reception, which I think is insane because he only scored 1 touchdown, but he had 12 catches for 300 yards. But yeah, it's just, I hate the Falcons fans' dislike for this man, and I'm telling, I'm gonna ride with him until he gets into the Hall of Fame because he's going. If he don't. I've said, because people's always like, it's always the whole Matt Ryan, Eli Manning thing. And it's like if Eli Manning gets into the Hall of Fame just solely based off the fact that he beat Tom Brady twice in Super Bowls, Matt Ryan better get into the Hall of Fame for the standpoint that he is still to this day the only NFL quarterback with 10 years of 4,000 yards in a row.
His 2016 isn't in the top 20 of fantasy of all time.
That's crazy.
This is an article from Yahoo. You got to factor in all the running quarterbacks.
True. Yeah, you do have to factor in the running quarterback. That's true. Even still though, that's wow.
If you take out the like Lamar, Josh Allen,
yeah, you have to factor that in.
Then like if you get into that, because let's see, because they go back the top 20, just to give you like a quick overview. Like number 20 is 2021 Brady at 375. And then like you got Rodgers 2016, Justin Herbert 2021. You got Brady's on here a bunch of times. Josh Allen. That's the thing. You got Josh Allen's on here a bunch. 2013 Manning. And then you got like the top 5 seasons are 2013 Manning, 2018 Mahomes, 2019 Lamar, 2022 Patrick Mahomes, and then 2024 Lamar Jackson.
That is so crazy to me because 2016 Ryan went 4,944 yards, 38 touchdowns, 7 picks. That's crazy.
I want to look at, because now there's an article by CBS Sports, and they have Manning's 2013 season as the top one ever.
The one where he threw 55?
Yeah.
Hey,
but we still got a second part of that question too, man. I forgot.
In this list, Matt Ryan's 2016 season is number 18.
Mm.
And then his
Respect.
2018 season is number 19. So, I mean, ahead of him is Rodgers, Breeze, Young, Steve Young, Drew Brees, Andrew Luck, Tom Brady, Dante Culpepper, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Cam Newton, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Lamar, Brady, Mahomes, Manning.
Because Matt Ryan's 2018 was just as insane. I think the only difference was 20 less passing yards. That's it.
Yeah.
So, look, I got to ask y'all this, man. The second part of this question is the 2010s the late 2000s, 2010s, the best wide receiver era? Y'all have the floor. Cook.
Woo! The best wide receiver era. I mean, late 2000s, 2010s. I mean, it's up there when you're looking at let me see. You're looking at Calvin Johnson. You're looking at Steve Smith. You're looking at Andre Johnson. You're looking at Reggie Wayne. You're looking at AJ Green. You're looking at Larry Fitzgerald. You're looking at Odell Beckham Jr. Well, I'll say first three year Odell Beckham Jr. You got Julio. You got AB. You got you got Demarius. You got Demarius Thomas. You got Dez Bryant. You got Dez Bryant. Man, it's honestly up. It's honestly up there. It's up there. It's honestly up there.
Okay, I got the list. Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, Calvin Johnson, Andre Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald, Steve Smith, Reggie Wayne, Anquan Bolden, AJ Green, Julian Edelman, Dennis Rodman, Brandon Marshall, Wes Welker, Jordy Nelson,
yes,
Doug Baldwin, and Demetrius Thomas. Childhood is over at this point.
Oh yeah, I saw that TikTok. Yeah. Gosh.
See, there's a couple of those guys that you could put in the previous era or the previous decade too.
Yeah, that's why I said late 2000s, then 2010, late 2000s, 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, he said late he said late 2000s, 2010s. Yeah, because you could put because you could easily put
Wes
Welker, Reggie Wayne,
Fitz.
Yeah, Fitz. You could put them in pre. Yeah, so that'd be like pre 2006. So yeah, you could put them there too.
And you got then you got Marvin Harrison. You got Chris Carter, Isaac Bruce, in that 90s, early 2000s era. I'd say those 2 decades in general, the wide receivers were pretty.
The depth is insane.
Yeah, I mean, and then you throw in Randy Moss too on top of it, like Antrello.
Randy Moss and T.O. exactly. Yeah, this.
That's the. It would be an interesting argument of what decade is better. That'd be hard. Hard. Man, that'd be really.
That's one of the best eras that you're ever going to see as far as wide receiver. Julio's number needs to be retired. If he's not the greatest Falcon of all time, he may not be in a class all by himself when it comes to the greatest Falcon of all time. But it doesn't take long to call roll. If you want me to be honest, he's at the top of this. If you really want me to be honest,
go ahead, champ.
It's Deion, Matty, and then Julio. I will say Deion, Matty.
Talking about greatest Falcon of all time.
Yes.
Oh, that's Matt. Yeah, that's Matt.
That's
Deion, Matty, Julio.
No,
not in any particular order. Deion, Matty, Julio.
It's for me. It's Matt. I get Deion. For me, it's Matt.
Deion's the greatest corner of all time.
But we're talking about for the franchise. We're talking about for the franchise. Take reputation and all that stuff out the window. We're talking about what you did for the franchise. It's Matt Ryan.
Yeah. Okay. Well, like I said, it doesn't take long to call roll because you got to put Deion either first or second, and then you got to put Julio right up there with them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. You have to look at because with Matt, you have to look at the longevity of him basically being a top 10 quarterback, basically his entire career in Atlanta, and then throw into the fact he got the 2 NFC championship games, he won one, and he's the first Falcon to win a league MVP.
Yeah, you're right. You're
and
right.
It's Matt Ryan.
And his whole career is with Atlanta, except for that.
Except for that 1 year with the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah. Matt Ryan is the greatest Atlanta Falcon of all time.
And you got to think about this. He came to us at a time where it was rough.
Michael Vick just went to jail.
It was good. I was trying to avoid that. Damn. It got bad.
Hey, we got to be transparent here. We got to get it out. Michael Vick just went to jail. Bobby Petrino just went straight trick mode and decided to go to Arkansas because he couldn't cut it because he didn't have Michael Vick. So Matt Ryan came in at a time where he was absolutely needed, and he immediately changed the culture. Immediately.
It got 2006. It got bad quick, yo. It got bad quick. It was ugly. I remember we went 7-9, and we like the next year we got Bobby Petrino. Remember, we was hype about Bobby Petrino coming. He had just led Louisville to, I think, the Orange Bowl. And the thing was, look, I would be lying if I said I wasn't excited, because remember that year.
Oh, I was too.
Yeah, remember that year, Michael Bush, not Reggie Bush, Michael Bush. Remember the dude was he's bigger than Christian Okoye. He was like 6'3", 250. And I never forget, he got hurt at the beginning of the year. That was his star running back. And he went like 11-1 and went to the Orange Bowl, was one of the high scoring offense with Brian Brom. And I'm like, okay, we get the guy here that's an offensive minded coach, not a defensive minded coach. So I was excited about it. So
and what I liked about Bobby Petrino's offensive scheme, because even though it was tailored around like more of the pocket passing or whatnot, there was something about his scheme to where I thought Michael Vick could run it. Because his scheme, because there was bootlegs, there were things like that Michael Vick. I mean, at the time, there was no athlete at the quarterback position in the league like Michael Vick at the time. So when he came, it was like, okay. I think Mike can run this offense, but then everything transpired the way it did, and then the Falcons got off to that bad start, and then homie just went and jumped to Arkansas. Didn't. That's where I lose all respect for Bobby Petrino. If he had to finish that season out and then took the Arkansas job, I wouldn't be as hard on him as I am. But it's the fact that he took that Arkansas job mid-season. That's where I lose all respect for him. I lose all respect for him. You finish the season out, you show a backbone, you finish the season out, okay, I got respect for you. You lost Michael Vick, but you know what? You coached the season, you took it like a champ. Well played. Prop. You want to go to Arkansas? You go to Arkansas. I mean, stuff work out like that, but you didn't finish the season. That's where I lose all respect for him.
Yeah. Like I said, it got bad quick. It was after 2000, it got bad quick. It was like, oh, Bobby Petrino comes in, Michael Vick gets in trouble. He's not going to be available for this season. Bobby Petrino leaves. I think the damn running back got hurt that year too. I was like,
I believe so too. So that year, the only shining light for the Falcons that year was Roddy White finally having his breakout year. That was it.
That was it. It was just like,
that just attests to how good Roddy White was, because that was Joey Harrington, Byron Leftwich, Chris Redmond, like
Doug Johnson. Yeah, remember Doug? Remember Doug Johnson? Doug Johnson, boy, he had that one good game, and I'm like, what? I was like, okay, we got some hope. Like that next game, he came out there and stuck, joined up. So
and the crazy thing about it, that year was actually arguably Joey Harrington's best year. That's just how bad he was.
Yes, so it was ugly that year, man. And then for Matt Ryan to come into that, and the thing is, you got to remember who his number 2 receiver when he first got there was. His number 2 receiver was Michael Jenkins. And he stuck to join up. He was sorry. He was sorry as wet bread. I'm just gonna be real. So
Yeah,
I mean,
and I remember. No, I remember. Like I got into like a Twitter debate with someone because I basically said that. I said, what I say? I said Michael Jenkins was a better receiver with Matt Ryan than Michael Vick, and somebody was like, well, Michael Jenkins still got the same amount of targets and da da da. I'm like, bro, look at the effectiveness of Matt Ryan and how he threw the ball. You look at how Matt Ryan threw a lot of people open. He got him the ball in space. Like, you're not about to sit here and tell me Michael Jenkins was just as good a receiver as Matt Ryan that he was with Michael Vick. You can make a case because of how effective Matt Ryan was throwing the ball. He was a better target for Matt Ryan than he was with Michael Vick. I mean, I'm just saying. And
now look, I'm gonna ask you this question because I saw this on the Water Boys podcast.
Okay.
Boys
I love them. I love them. Shout out to the Water Boys podcast. I love them.
Okay, because they're right here in Georgia, so I hope we can be as big as they are one day. Now they
absolutely.
said they brought up the biggest trade bust that we ever had in the form of Peerless Price. Now Peerless Price fired back and said, "Look, no disrespect towards Mike Vick, but we didn't. If Matt Ryan was there, it would have been a different story." Do you agree with Peerless Price, or did he just suck?
I agree to a lesser extent, but I think it's based on the fact that what killed Michael Vick was him not reading the playbook. That's what killed Michael Vick. Was him not putting his full focus at the quarterback position in Atlanta, not reading the playbooks. I think that's what a lot of it would really kind of kill what Michael Vick honestly should have been in Atlanta. I agree just from the standpoint Matt Ryan as a pure passing quarterback he came in and was just making all the throws immediately, and I do agree to an extent that Peerless Price would have been a better receiver with Matt Ryan. Does that mean he's doing what he did that one year in Buffalo? No. But I do think he is a better receiver if it's Matt Ryan as opposed to Michael Vick. But that's solely based on work ethic of the quarterback. Because if Michael Vick, and I tell people this all the time, if 2010 Philly Vick was in Atlanta, we'd have a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And I know it's tough. And I know it's tough playing hypotheticals. It's very tough with the hypotheticals, but I just feel like that 2010 Vic who put it all together, you put him in that 2004, like that 2004, if you get Michael Vick, if you get 2010 Vic, that 04 to 06 run, we could very well have a championship.
Yeah. What about you, Flash? You think that the 2010s era is the greatest receiver era of all time, bro?
I mean, arguably, yeah. I think it's hard to put it over like the previous era or the previous decade, I should say. I think that whole 20-year arc of wide receivers, I think that's the golden era of wide receivers.
Agreed.
It's kind of like how I look at, like, I'd say 96 to basically when Brady and Roger, but when basically Brady retires and Manning retires and Breeze is gone, is the golden era of quarterbacks.
It's like that. Like you have like that golden era of receivers, like what Flash said, that golden era of quarterbacks. And then if you want to throw like other sports in, like the 90s with the center position. If you want to go like, if you want to go like mid-90s, go ahead. No, what's that?
Was it the goal? Was the 96 through, like, let's say COVID? Was that the greatest era of offense, period?
In basketball?
No, in football.
96 to who? To where? To win?
96 to COVID. 96 to COVID. I mean, I think you kind of have to say, yeah.
Well, I mean, the NFL changed
And true, exactly right.
You went from, and this is why I say 96, because you look at like 95, 90, around that time. So you just came off the Dallas Cowboys dynasty in the early 90s, which was led by Emmitt Smith, which was the last of the great teams that were led by a great running back, that were championship quality teams. And the NFL shifted into a quarterback league right after that. You had Steve Young, Brett Favre, Jim Kelly, that type of, and even Kelly's run was at its end at that point. But you still had Marino, guys like that still playing. But that was the start of the QB era in the NFL, where the NFL became a quarterback-centric league, and honestly ascended to the point of how the NFL is so popular now. So is it the greatest offensive era? Yeah, I think it's. I think so. The quarterback play. It's like everybody talks like all the Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen lovers and stuff like. I don't think this new iteration of quarterbacks even comes close to that era. Like I agree. Like Mahomes is the best of this current crop of quarterbacks, but I don't think they like the depth from like 95 to 2020 is nuts. Like it's crazy. Like the greatness just gets better. That's the insane thing. Like it just keeps ascending levels where now it's kind of plateaued, and now it's kind of like I don't think Josh Allen and Joe Burrow and those guys and Lamar Jackson are like anywhere near, Manning, Rodgers, Breeze, Brady. Like they're nowhere. They don't eat Montana. Like Montana's not in that 95 to whatever, but like they're nowhere near that here, in my opinion. Like Lamar. I know the Lamar thing is going to come up because of MVPs and years and blah, but I don't think he sniffs that whole era of quarterbacks is just crazy. Like it's just crazy.
It's for me. It's the overall depth at the position, because right now, and it's the overall depth of the position because right now in the current era that we're in right now, it's basically it's the top four, and I call them the four horsemen of the NFL. They're the four horsemen of the NFL. It's Mahomes, it's Allen, it's Burrow, it's Lamar, and then really it's like everybody else is kind of like that. I mean, like we were talking about the cloud, and like it's definitely a clouded situation when you talk about everybody after the top four. That era was just so. I mean, really, if you want to go back, if you want to say like 04 up until like COVID, when it's like like Brady, Manning, and then like Breeze went to New Orleans, and then Rivers took over with the Chargers. So Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, say what you want about Eli Manning. The dude did still win 2 championships. Say what you want to, he won 2 rings. So you have to throw him in the conversation. And then like Aaron Rodgers, Matt Ryan. Just depth. Just Russ, and then like the Russell Wilsons came in, the Andrew Lucks came in, just depth on depth on top of depth on top of depth on top of depth. It's just crazy.
Yes, I don't think it's and this is what this goes to like how a lot of the newbies are talking about Mahomes this and Allen that, and I just go like, guys, that like the era that we just came off of basically the top 20 quarterbacks, most of them are from basically 94 to 2020.
Facts.
It's just like top 20 all time is that, except for like, I'm just looking at a random top 10 of like Marino, but that was 94 to 99. Yeah, Favre played until 2010. Like the only guys in this top 10 that aren't in that era would be Elway, and Elway won his 2 Super Bowls in that era.
Yeah, 1998. 1998.
Like you know, and then Montana, he retired in 94. But everybody else, like, you know, I mean, Steve Young was putting up stupid numbers in the mid 90s and late 90s before he had the.
Oh, he was Josh Allen before Josh Allen.
Oh yeah, by leaps and bounds. You know, and a lot of people don't talk about how great of a passer he was. Like he was a way better passer than Josh Allen was. His accuracy was insane. But I just that era of quarterbacks will just never be like you said. You got Russell Wilson, Cam Newton. You know, I just. It's just such an Phillip Rivers you mentioned, Andrew Luck. I'm just kind of looking through, and look, and this is I'm not saying these guys are all time greats, but this is not a guy like Joe Flacco. Like
good, yeah, exactly. Like decent to good regular season quarterback, but you get Joe Flacco in the playoffs. Good God Almighty.
That's the bottom tier of that era. That's the insane part is that he's like of the good quarterback. Donovan McNabb.
Donovan McNabb.
I mean, Kurt Warner. Like
yes.
we like
Carson Palmer.
Carson Palmer. Matt Hasselbeck. Like I could just keep going, and it's just. Again, it's insane how much depth is that. I don't think there's been a era of less than 94, so 25 years. Let's say you call it a 25-year period. The depth at one position in one league, where again, it's not that it like there's it just kept ascending to the point we got Brady. That's how crazy it is.
Yeah.
Like they kept getting better. So that's I'm so blessed to be able to grow up in that era as a sports fan. Like that, it's something that I wish I could go back and relive.
Yeah. And man, enjoy watching. Hey, shout out to my father, man. I'll never forget I was a teenager. And I used to watch every game from the time I used to watch every game from the time I got up. This was back before streaming services became in line, back when it was on regular television. And I used to watch every single game on every single channel from the time I got up on Sunday morning to the time I went to sleep. So, and it got to the point one time where NFL has what I like to call hard weeks. It's just like when these super teams are playing these mediocre teams, they finna get blown the hell out. And he walked into the den one day. I think I was like 15, 16 years old. He said, "Look, man, these sorry-ass teams are playing today. We're not watching football all day." So but the thing is, even back then, even though they was playing each other and you knew that it was going to be blowout, you still want to watch to see if somebody could upset. I mean, remember, Miami had that magical year when they got Chad Pennington, where it's just like, where is it with the Wildcat? It was like, wow, where did this come from? It's like, because you thought they wasn't going to win too much.
I would sit there and watch games, and then I would wake up early before school just to watch SportsCenter, to watch the highlights that I had just watched the night before. And I wouldn't just watch one SportsCenter because they would replay the SportsCenters. I'd watch like 3 SportsCenters in a row before I went to school. Like it.
Oh, the good old days. Oh, the good old days. I did the exact same stuff. For me, it's like I get up at like 6, and then I get ready about 6:36, in between 6:30, 6:45. I'm ready for school. Bus picking me up about like 7:10, 7:15. But boy, SportsCenter. It just, man. Oh, good old, just golden era.
I miss the 90s. I miss 90s era ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
That will never be surpassed in
no.
that type of.
Honestly, say this. End the segment on this note. Back then, SportsCenter was all about sports.
Yes.
The thing was, you had shows on top of shows, and it was just all about sports. You had SportsCenter, but You also had shows like Sports Century that was 30 for 30 before 30 for 30. You had Sports Century. You know, you had top 5 reasons that you can't blame. You know, I mean, that was a good one. You know, top 5 reasons you can't blame Wilt Chamberlain for constantly losing to Bill Russell and the Celtics.
Yeah.
You know, top 5 reasons you can't blame Jerry Jones for the loss of the Cowboys dynasty. Top 5 reasons you can't blame Jerry Krause for the demise of the Bulls. You had top 5 reasons you can't blame. You had up close. Remember, athletes used to literally do interviews on a regular basis. It wasn't just, I mean, ESPN had a special guest on Up Close every single day. Now, everybody remembers the most memorable episode of Up Close. You know, everybody remembers the most memorable episode, but I digress. Y'all looking at me like I'm like y'all hear a dog whistle. Y'all don't know the most memorable episode of Up Close?
Which one are you talking about in particular?
Oh, the Chris Everett episode with Jim Rome.
Him and Jim Rome, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I kind of figured.
I have never seen, to this day, I have never seen an athlete losing on somebody quite like Jim Everett. Not Chris Everett. Jim Everett lost it on Jim Rome. Jim Everett was not having that.
Jim Rome was Skip Bayless before Skip Bayless was Skip Bayless. Jim Rome was a troll, and made his look. He made a fortune, and bravo to him. But dude, you had such I remember after is it on Sundays after Sports Center they had the sports reporters.
Yeah.
And they would have like the biggest sports writers like Bob Ryan from the Boston Globe and all that kind of and they would discuss like whatever the topic was. That was such a great show.
Yes.
Oh, it was like,
even Jason Whitlock had somewhat of credibility back then when he was on Sports Center.
Yeah, like Whitlock was, like I said, again, I know Whitlock gets a lot of hate because of his political views and stuff like that, but he's literally the version. He's literally the opposite of Stephen A. Smith, just on the other side of the political spectrum. Like, I get sometimes he says really stupid shit, and you go like, oh God, and then you say, sometimes he says something, you go, all right, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, But that era of, man, I guess, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I love the sports reporters. The sports reporters, that was,
Michael Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser even before they did
Around the Horn.
Yeah, Around the Horn. Like, dude, sports reporters used to be like a thing. Like, it used to be a massive profession. Like, they were like there was a certain level of like respect. Journalism. Yeah. It's sad that has just gone down the toilet.
And then, you had Bert Sugar, God rest his soul, the boxing, the boxing guru. And that's, to be honest with you, that's how I remember Max Kellerman. I don't.
The boxing guy, yeah.
It's like.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It was like, seeing him on First Take was kind of weird because I'm like, this is not really your forte. You need to be back on HBO with boxing, bro. I'm like,
why are you on? Yeah, or just be on Fight Night on
whatever. It was so weird seeing him on there. It's like, how the hell is Max Kellerman on here? It's like you supposed to be on HBO.
It was weird because it's like, did they just like take the good-looking dude and like, all right, we'll just put you on TV? It was real weird.
Yeah,
because I remember, it'd be like taking Joe Rogan now and putting him on ESPN. It'd be like, no.
That's not gonna work.
No, go back to UFC, please. That's just gonna be
that would not work. Joe Rogan on ESPN. Oh hell no, that's not going. That's not going. In the great worst.
If you're gonna be on ESPN, do a UFC show. Don't do no main sport stuff. Do a UFC show.
Look, I hate to say this, I love Joe Rogan, but him on ESPN. In the great words of my father and my grandfather, that dog went horn to bark up trees. No. So,
Even Pat McAfee barely works on ESPN. The only reason ESPN puts up with it is because Pat McAfee is the only thing that brings eyeballs to that network anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that's the sad part. It's because, but yeah, man, it's so bad. It's so sad how far ESPN has fallen.
Yeah, like I said, they had the top 5 reasons you can't blame. You had Around the Horn. You had I think Cold Pizza was a little bit better than First Take because, like I said, it was all about sport.
Yeah. What was the other? There was another show that they did right before or right after Around the Horn.
Well, you had the well, I know you had around. Well, I know the 5 o'clock hour was Around the Horn, and then Pardon the Interruption at 5:30. Yeah, that was Kornheiser and Wilbon. Pardon the Interruption.
Now, one other show before we move on to the next segment that I used to love. It wasn't a part of ESPN, but I loved it. Best damn sports show. Period.
I love that show.
The best damn sports show. It seems like a lot of the sports shows has been like phased out. Now that made a lot of room for guys like us in order to try to fill that void. But it seems like the sports shows on sports networks has really pretty much phased out. And you really don't. And as far as seeing sports personalities, I mean, although you see Stephen A. Smith on here, it's like it was a variety. You had like Stuart Scott, but you also had Chris Collins. You also had Chris Collinsworth. I mean, when he was at his peak.
Well, you had Dan Patrick, Keith Olbermann, Stuart Scott, Trey Wingo, Rich Eisen. Like you had these
Charlie Steiner.
Yeah, Charlie Steiner. What was the guy that looked like the math teacher from South Park? That
John Clayton.
John Clayton. Like
God
rest his soul. But he does. He looks like he totally does. Or did.
I cannot unsee that in my head right now.
No, it does. He just he looks at. Go look at that. I swear to God. Like
you just call him Tweety Bird.
Yeah, dude. The commercial they had when because there was always a rumor he had a ponytail like in the back or whatever. Dude,
the commercial where he comes home and Mom, I'm eating dinner.
Dude, that was started because that was the whole thing. Because like I used to listen to Dan Patrick and his radio show religiously. And he kept that rumor up for years. And then you have the commercial where like John Clayton takes off his suit and he just like pulls out the ponytail and dude, that era, dude, that whole ESPN era was. Dude, you had something
about Chris Mortensen.
What? Yeah, Chris Mortensen.
About late great Chris Mortensen.
Dude, Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, like dude, like NFL primetime. I still go back and watch NFL primetime shows. Episodes from like the 90s and like the late 80s, dude. There will never be a better highlight show than NFL primetime.
You got jacked up.
There would be another better highlight like segment or section than jacked up when the players were actually just decleating each other. Oh my gosh, I will watch it just to get to that section. Like y'all hurry up and get to the jacked up segment. Okay, I want to see who got killed. Okay,
the jacked up section. So go back and watch like late 80s to like 96 NFL primetime. Dude, when Berman is at his peak and on fire, like dude, and like the music that, dude, I have a whole YouTube playlist just dedicated to NFL primetime music. Like that was amazing. There's no highlight show that comes close. Like there was literally Sports Center when it was Patrick and Olbermann, and then when they had who usually did it with Stuart Scott.
It was Stuart Scott and Rich Eisen.
Rich Eisen. It was those two, like those three, like Berman, Jackson, Stuart Scott, and Eisen, and then Danny Patrick and Keith Olbermann. Dude, like nobody, nothing. Those highlight shows were phenomenal.
Yes, indeed. Real quick. I just got to ask this question since the Final Four is on. UConn versus South Carolina. Is this the dream match, or was we robbed of the dream match when Juju Watkins got hurt?
I'll let you guys on this one.
Nah, as much as I love Juju Watkins and I love what she was doing for USC, this is the one. UConn, South Carolina is the one because you got Gino Auriemma, who's like the greatest. He's like the greatest coach of women's college basketball history with the 11 national championships, and then you got Dawn Staley, who's already got 3, and who's basically cemented herself right now as the best coach in the women's college game. Nah, this the one right here. This is the one.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I can't wait to see it. I'm rooting for Dawn Staley, though, the CEO. Now they have another nickname for her team. It's called Dawn's Daycare. So that's another cool nickname that they got for. But I think this is it for. I think this is the dream match that everyone wants to see. Real quick, y'all are some of the greatest baseball minds that I've ever seen. And I remember hearing UBRF talk about the Yankees bats. I just want to get you to elaborate on that a little bit. What are your thoughts about those bats? Because they look kind of like T-ball bats, if you really want me to be honest with you. And I'm like, what the hell are T-ball bats doing? What are your thoughts about these bats? Is it an unfair advantage or what?
No, it's not. Basically, what it is like they're called torpedo bats. Basically, what they did is they kind of remade the barrel of the bat. Like, it's like in as legal a fashion as they did, they kind of like where the barrel of the bat used to be kind of like near the end of the bat. They kind of brought it down just a hair to kind of like not quite the heart of the bat, but kind of close to where it's like now it's like it's like if you're getting like the full extension and you making contact with the ball, you hitting that sucker, God knows how far. And right now the Yankees being the Yankees, like I mean, props to them for kind of being ahead of the curve on this. So I don't see a problem with it because I mean, like I said, they did it legally. So I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
Nope, me neither. And the other too, it's not just like they just made a separate bat. They made a separate bat that's like suits every individual player that uses it.
Exactly.
So they literally took an MIT kid, an engineer from MIT, and they studied each player, all of his at-bats, and where he typically hits on the barrel. And then they adjusted the barrel to that player. It's flipping brilliant.
It's straight genius.
Everybody else can do it. Everybody that's whining, like look, as a Brewer fan, one of the Brewers pitchers came out like, "This is garbage." Like, dude, sack up. It's like the tush push. It's legal. Stop whining about it because you guys can't figure out how to stop it. I'm sorry. I don't like the Eagles. I hate the Yankees. I hate the Eagles too. But
hey, you came up with something to put you in a better position to win games. Yeah. Keep doing it.
I can't hate that. That's just, I mean, like, am I going to be mad when you just, it's like Brady in the 2-minute drill. Like, you just go like, here we go again. You just like, all right, well, there's nothing I can do about it. Just
exactly. And what's the point? And what's the point of being mad about it when it's basically going to trend and it's going to eventually trickle down to every team in Major League Baseball? They're all going to have them. So why are we complaining?
I don't know. That's the stupid thing. It's just like when to kind of talk about like the tush push a little bit. It's like we're going to go back and like it'd be like if like when Jordan and Kareem were playing and they're like, well, let's ban the sky hook and the fadeaway. It's just too effective. Like, or like saying like Steph Curry, you can't shoot threes anymore. Like, I don't know. I don't look. I hate the Yankees. I've hated the Yankees with the most fervent, fiery passion since I was a kid. But I'm pissed the Brewers didn't do it or the Red Sox didn't do it.
Hey, I'm glad I talked to y'all about it. It don't matter. Yankees, I don't even like y'all, but good job. I would say that. I really
exactly. None of
credit due, but y'all gonna get
none of us on this panel. None of us on this panel can stand the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
But the torpedo bats are freaking genius.
Yeah. and it's going to draw more fans too. I mean, I can't wait till baseball becomes on the same plateau as the NFL. If you really want me to be honest, it's always
hell. Our Braves put an order. Our Braves, and rightfully so, put an order in for him. So I mean, come on.
Dude, I'm just mad we didn't get to see like Barry Bonds and Sammy Sosa and all those.
That would have been ugly. They probably would have hit 100 home runs, but
Mark McGwire. Oh my God.
Hey, real quick before we move on, quick stat about Barry Bonds. And I saw this. I think I've seen it before. Okay. We know how good of a hitter David Ortiz was, like his on-base percentage or whatnot. If you took away every single one of Barry Bonds' home runs away, his on-base percentage would still be higher than David Ortiz.
Yeah.
Damn.
Dude, I watched. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Flash, my bad.
I watched a video yesterday of Bonds and Maddox. We probably talked about this already about Bonds and Maddox, and they talked about some of their at-bats against each other. And it's like listening to Brady and Manning and those guys talk about football. Go look that up. It's from a documentary.
Yeah, y'all said that to me a long time ago when we was talking about the beginning of baseball. Yeah,
that's why I think Greg Maddux is the greatest right-handed pitcher of all time. But that's neither here nor there.
Listen, no, I 100% agree. I don't even think it's the greatest right-handed pitcher. I think he's the greatest pitcher.
I think he's the greatest pitcher of all time too. Yeah,
but I listening to Bonds and him go back and forth. Oh, it just gives me goosebumps. It's just to listen. And that's the thing. Like we when Bonds was playing, he didn't talk much.
He was kind of the thing is, and I don't blame him to a certain extent. He was irritated by the media.
Yeah, and he talks a lot more now. And listen to him speak now about baseball.
Dude. He was irritated by the media. He was irritated by them.
That doesn't mean everybody hates the media.
Yeah, I mean, I can't hate the media because I am the media. So,
but at the same time,
it's a different type of media. But yeah,
it's a love-hate relationship with the media. We talked about earlier about how like Kobe, like the like how Kobe after the Colorado thing and everything else, and like there was that media thing, and that they did. Like, if you go back, like, the media was different back with, like, Jordan. Like, they covered up stuff for people back in the day. Like, pre-internet.
Yeah, they covered up a lot of shit.
They covered up a lot of stuff back. Like, a lot of stuff with, like, Jordan. Or some of the stories that you hear now of, like, that era. Like, the media we're not going to.
Yeah, they always protected their cash cows. I mean, that was the thing back then. But I think people label Barry Bonds a butt. But the thing is, this: if I'm one of the greatest hitters in baseball, and you only trying to find bad stories about me, when only thing I want to do is play baseball, it's kind of like crazy. Because you can't write the story of baseball without Barry Bonds. You can't write the story of it. I mean, I understand that.
I have a question. I've been thinking about this for a little while because I went into Baseball Reference and I went and looked up Barry Bonds and I looked up his stats. This is okay. Champ, you're always dropping the pipe bombs. I'm gonna drop one myself here, and I want y'all to hear me out. I want y'all to hear me out on this one. In terms of all-time peaks in the history of sports, can you make a case 2001 to 2004 Barry Bonds is the greatest peak in the history of sports?
Absolutely.
Wait, say that again?
Can you make a case for 01 to 04 Barry Bonds being the greatest individual peak in the history of professional sports?
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Bro, let me break something down. Look, like I said, y'all are my baseball minds. I'm a football guy. But Barry Bonds and the break outside, let's just keep it real. Barry Bonds made me want to watch baseball outside the Braves. Because when it comes to me being a homer, I watch for baseball, it's the Braves and no one. But he made me want to watch it outside of the Braves. And the thing is, when people are purposely walking you and the bases are damn loaded, and you're giving up a run anyway, that just goes to show you how, number one, they hate you, number one, and how much, number two, they're scared of you.
The thing that I compare Bonds to during that era is if he didn't hit a home run, it was like it's like if you watch a Steph Curry game and he misses a three.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, that's not supposed to happen. Like that, it's like peak Bonds. Man, I really would love to go, like, that's a good segment. What are the most peak individual handful of years, like, you know,
the best 5-year period, the best 4 to 5 year period ever.
Yeah, 3 to 5 years. Even William knocked it down to 3. What's the
3 to
best
5 years
period by any individual sports athlete ever?
Yeah, man. Because let me tell you something.
You got to go into like tennis and stuff like that too.
Yeah, and let me tell y'all something. I went to Baseball Reference and I sorted out Barry Bonds 2001 to 2004, and I saw them averages, and I'm like, it still astonishes me. That man struck out in 4 years 239 times in 4 years.
John Smoltz. Oh, dude, here's a stat for you. It's not Barry Bonds, but it's Tony Gwynn. Between John Smoltz, Tom Glavine, Greg Maddux, and Pedro Martinez, they struck out Tony Gwynn a total of 3 times.
3 times.
What?
3 times.
And Maddux, Maddux and Pedro never got him once.
Never got him once.
Maddux and Pedro never got him once.
Never got him once.
But never struck him out.
Damn.
Like, that's how good. I would love to have heard Tony Gwynn talk about hitting like Bonds does now. Like, that dude processed baseball and hitting like like not a lot of other people better than that.
I'm trying to remember some of the stats too between those 4 years. I'm trying to remember. I think it was like 2 Bonds. Yeah, it was like 200. I think it was like 209 home runs in that 4 year period. His walk to strikeout ratio was like 3 to 1. His walk to strikeout ratio was 3 to 1. I think it was like 755 walks to 239 strikeouts.
Oh.
Like, I mean, batting average was like 346. Had over 1,300 on base plus slugging. I mean,
that's nasty.
Just like bruh. And the thing is like, people forget. Before 2001, he was already a Hall of Famer. He had 494 home runs and 491 stolen bases before 2001. Because 2001, he went 500. He became the first player to do it. He was already a Hall of Famer before 2001. And that's why, for me, it's like one of the biggest tragedies that man will never get in the Hall of Fame. Because this is what I just feel like baseball at that time turning a blind eye to everything that was going on, and now you want to be PC about it after the Mitchell report came out, and you want to not let some of these guys in the Hall of Fame. Like, y'all got to understand, y'all get on these hitters, but you got to understand how many pitchers were probably using during that time frame. So it's like, how can you gauge just the hitters when you're not even aware of how many pitchers were using at the time? That's why I'm like, you can't. That's why I feel like players from that era should be allowed in the Hall of Fame, because at the end of the day, it's still how you perform. It's still how you perform in the numbers you put up. Everybody didn't do it.
Yeah, if everybody's juicing, then is anybody cheating? Like,
exactly.
I have like this real mixed feeling about that era. There's the little child of purity in me, of the blinders on, of before you find out that, adults are shitty people too, and you just kind of have that like, oh, this is sports and everything's pure and nobody cheats and there's these rules. And then you get older and you realize that that's just a bunch of bunk. So that part of me struggles with that era because of my purity love of sports. But then the realist in me goes, there's no reason that anybody in that era shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Anybody.
Well,
Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, like we could go on and on and on about that whole era. Mark McGuire, so on, Sammy, so all of them. They all should be in. All of them. But it's like, look, not to go down the rabbit hole of who should be in, but Pete Rose. Pete Rose is one of the greatest hitters of all time.
Watch them put him in posthumously now. Watch it happen.
That was that was always the running joke with not running joke, but the thing with who was the commissioner that was owner of the Brewers? I can't think of his name off.
Bud Selig.
Bud Selig was like, after I'm dead and he's dead, then basically I'll allow it. Like it was
not to get political, because this is not political show. The president just pardoned him not too long ago.
Trump did?
Yeah. The president just pardoned him not too long ago. So you have to ask yourself, is that going to play a role in him finally getting into the Baseball Hall of Fame?
Actually might hurt him more than it actually might help him, considering.
I mean, I'm just nobody. Look, I'm just going to be real. I understand that the current president is not the most popular guy in the world, but a damn partner is a damn partner. Don't nobody give a damn where you got it from.
I look at Pete Rose like this way. Like, we all know that Pete Rose is not a good person, but we're not voting on the fact. We're not trying to put him in the Hall of Fame because he's a good person. Like, I don't want to bring up OJ, but OJ was an awful person, but
he's one of the greatest running backs of all time.
Like, I hate to admit it, but this is what it is. Like,
dude ran for 2,000 yards in a 14-game season.
Yeah. I mean, like, we could go back and talk about how awful a person Babe Ruth was. Like, Babe Ruth was a terrible person. Like, I mean,
let's not even talk about Ty Cobb.
Yeah, Ty Cobb was.
My God, this dude made a career of sliding with his spikes up.
Yeah.
So
like pure evil.
I mean, Bobby Lane, he was no pastor at any church either. So I mean, there's been a lot of grimy mofos in Hall of Fames of sports.
Yeah, it's been some crappy people that played sports that got into the Hall of Fame, and it had nothing to do with their reputation.
Nope.
Hey, I would just be real though. Look, just because you out here club hopping, that don't mean you necessarily a bad guy. Because back then, club hopping and having a good time and being a playboy was considered, not American, not friendly. And I'll say that about Babe Ruth, guys like Paul Hornung and guys like that. Because remember, Paul Hornung, he had a reputation for being a club hopper. So
he was Joe Namath before Joe Namath was Joe Namath.
Yeah. So
Paul Hornung, like, everybody thinks like it's just like, well, it's a Green Bay. How much damage could he have? That dude got around. That dude.
Yeah. That dude was good.
Oh man, I get around. Y'all trying to say he was Tupac before Tupac?
Yeah, man, Paul Hornung was no joke, bro. They said during the off season, bro, he used to bring the ladies all to the training camp. I mean, I ain't talking about one or two of them. I'm talking about a whole bunch of
them. Wow.
Like we should come up with like the top 10 like biggest players in like sports history.
Yeah,
Paul Hornung is like
up there. Hey man.
Wow. That's crazy, bro.
Paul Hornung was, especially for playing in Green Bay, the fact that like
there ain't a lot of nightlife. Well, known nightlife up there,
Yes. It's
you can find some nightlife somewhere.
You can't compare nightlife in like Chicago or Atlanta or New York to like Green Bay. But I'll tell you, as somebody that's grown up in Wisconsin, like there's plenty of nightlife here. Trust me. Like there's plenty of nightlife to find yourself.
Hey man, you want a small market, man? You can pretty much get lost at a certain place. Damn. But you can pretty much get lost if yeah, you can pretty much get lost tonight. Hey, I'm gonna just be real. It's a lot easier to get away with stuff when you're in a small market than when you're in a huge market. Because when you're in a small market, you are the toast of the town. People are. I mean, you could go into a town, you can't buy a drink. You know, I'm pretty sure that at his peak, I'm pretty sure Aaron Rodgers, Don Mikowski, and Brett Favre, they couldn't get a ticket in Green Bay. So I mean, I'm just being real. So I mean, them small market towns don't sleep. Hey man, look. I had my most fun at these little backwood country towns that I ever did in the city. I'm just gonna be real with you, man. Them backwood juke joints, they ain't no joke, man. Them little hole in the walls. Well, they frying chicken in the front. They frying chicken in the front rather than in the back. I'm just being real. I'm just being real. You know them places.
Boy, hey, I'm telling you, boy. Let this podcast get popular. Let us start hitting in like the 4s and the 5 digits as far as followers. I'm telling you, boy. You and me, champ. We enjoyed you. I'm telling, bro. Boy, we need to. I mean, we need to collab and do something up close and personal anyway. But I'm just saying, like, we need to do something.
I'm just saying, look. Go to some of these little juke joints down here in, let's say, Talbot County, down here in LaGrange, somewhere like that. Like I said, they fried it in the front instead of in the back. Guess what? You go in there, you smell it coming in. You smell the whiskey, and it hits you right in the nose when you come in the joint. The whiskey and the cooking just hit you right in the nose when you come in the joint, and it's just they just rocking it out. So yeah, man, it's easy to get lost in a small town.
Dude, there's a reason why. When the Packers were in London for an NFL game, like Packer fans, Wisconsin is known worldly for their drinking ability and literally drank London dry. Like,
wow.
Yeah, dude. Wow. Like Wisconsin is like the most, like I think Milwaukee in the Wisconsin area, like we have the most bars per capita, and it's like not even close. Like, like it's like Lewis Black used to have a whole thing about like drinking in Wisconsin is like nothing compared to, like, I remember, no joke, where was I? Was it Boston or somewhere? I had a beer and I literally finished it a couple minutes and went right back up and got a second one. And the bartender looked at me like if he like was like, no. And I'm like, give me a fucking drink, dude. Like in Wisconsin, if you're not walking away from the bar with 2 drinks in your hand, like there's something wrong with you.
We call it double fisting down here.
Yeah, double fisting. Like if you're not walking away with a pair of shots, we call it double fisting. And then you took a shot while you're at the bar, like that. Yeah, so like it's funny.
Oh, he got mad at you because you was trying to double fist the drink. He want to get it to you.
Yeah, like, well, you can't do that here. And I'm just like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm from Wisconsin, bro. Like this is back when I used to drink, and like I can't do that crap anymore. But like I'm from Wisconsin. Like you could give me like a whole 18 pack, and I'd still walk out of here straight as an arrow. Like you guys are nothing. So that but that's the thing. You go to them like bonfires here in Wisconsin, dude. Like,
yeah, man, you get lost in the small towns, man. Like I said, man. Go to one of them clubs in one of the little hole in the walls down there in Andalusia, Alabama. Some places like that. You gonna get lost, man. And the thing is, it's some of the most unsuspecting places that you'll ever find.
Oh yeah,
it's very, very unsuspecting. You can get lost. It's like, all right, ain't nobody gonna think that you got a hidden gem down there in Andalusia or Phoenix City is one of these places like that. Oh, there's a nowhere place. No, actually, it's a good place. And if you really want me to be honest, man, no, look, them $5 drinks at the Legion, them old folks be pouring that alcohol in there.
Dude, I went to, now I know this is a big city, but I went to this like tiny ass bar in Philly when I was married. I remember walking in and I asked for a vodka and Sprite and like a tall, and it was just like vodka, Sprite. Like that was it. And I was just like, oh shit, I'm in trouble tonight. So you go to those small bars and they're more about having a good time than anything else. Like, yeah.
Hey, shout out to a lot of the places down here, Columbus, Georgia, man. The Boom Boom Room, Martini's, a lot of the other places down here, man. We used to go down there, and the Wolf Pack. Shout out to the Wolf Pack when we used to rule the world. I want to get your opinion before Flash gets back.
Mm-hmm.
What is your thoughts on the Wiseman, Paul Heyman, being in CM Punk's corner at WrestleMania, bro?
I'm honestly not shocked that turned out to be the favor, because they showed that promo segment from I think it was like 2013 when CM Punk. Okay, CM Punk was fresh off of the 430-day title reign, 434-day WWE title reign. He had lost to the Undertaker at WrestleMania, and then he had the promo where he was going to take a step back, he was going to step away, and then he came back and he was like back to being like full-fledged babyface. Knees to faces, talk later, CM Punk. Yeah. And Paul Heyman was still trying to get him to be like, the prize fighter. No, like when CM Punk's first challenge when he came back was Alberto Del Rio in a non-title match, and Paul Heyman was tripping over the fact that you ain't even fighting for the championship. CM Punk like, nah, bro, we ain't gonna do that. If I want to be the best in the world, I want to prove it. And they went back to something. I think this was like Paul Heyman hadn't turned on him yet, but it was coming. And he was like, one day I'm going to manage you again. I'm going to walk down the aisle with you for the main event at WrestleMania. They showed that interview clip, and then they fast forwarded to that. And I'm just like, I am not surprised that this is the favor, because let's be real. It was one of Paul Heyman's dreams too, to walk CM Punk down an aisle for a WrestleMania main event. So I'm honestly not shocked at all that this was the favor. I mean, it's like I kind of felt it coming, like just the constant, CM Punk getting in Roman's face, like, hey, he's not just your wise man. Remember that. It's like the constant teasing. I'm not shocked at all that this is the I'm not shocked at all that this is the favor. But I'm really looking forward to WrestleMania, because I just feel like something is going to happen. Something's gonna happen. I don't know what. I can't quite put my finger on it.
Oh, I made my prediction last week of a couple weeks ago. So
yeah, something. Yeah. Hey, let me tell you something. That's a killer prediction. If they wanted to bring Homeboy back for that, it wouldn't shock me at all if they brought Big Brock back for that, because it makes a lot of sense. Without Paul Heyman getting physical himself, it makes a whole lot of sense. So I haven't been more ready for WrestleMania than I am for this one. I'm just ready. I'm just ready to see what this main event does. And now that we know that it's the main event for night one, and I just want to say this: there are a lot of people that were screaming for Rhea and Io and Bianca the main event night one. Hey, look, y'all, I respect y'all for having that opinion. Sure. No. As much as I love those three women, no, there was no chance. As soon as they were teasing it, as soon as they were teasing the idea of the triple threat, I'm like, oh yeah, this night one, it's a wrap. As soon as the idea was being teased, I'm like, oh yeah, once they make the match, this is main event night one. That's ball game. There's no way. This is probably the hottest angle going right now. Ain't no way it's not main event night one. There was no way once they started teasing it. There was no way.
And I'm sorry, but look, I'm just gonna be blunt and honest about it. I'm not gonna put on kitten ears and just try to play. Look, Io Sky, Bianca, and Rhea are nowhere on any level near Rollins, Punk, and Reigns. Like it's not even close. Like
it's a good angle, but nowhere near this.
But I'm not even talking about the angle itself. I'm just talking about like tiers.
It's not the draw. It's not the draw. It's nowhere near the draw.
There's no draw. It's Punk, Reigns, and Rollins, and then the it's just too. It's and it'd be like, and you're not going to have them go over Rhodes and Cena.
If anything, Rhea, Io, and Bianca, once they make that triple threat match official, if anything, they'll open night one.
Yeah, that's fine.
And honestly, for WrestleMania, I feel like that's what you live for WrestleMania. You either open the night or you main event. I feel like that's what you live for WrestleMania. You open it or you end it. And so let them open night one and let them kick it off with a banger. Let them kick them off and let them have one of the show stealing matches of the night. Let them kick it off like that.
Right now, there isn't a women's matchup that you could argue in any form or fashion that should be a main event at WrestleMania right now. Just right now.
No.
Like a couple of like Charlotte and Rhea 2 years ago. Sure. I still think that was the best match in night one that year.
I do too, but But the Usos and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, there was no way that was the main event in night one.
No, I agree, but I think you could that year you could have made the argument for Charlotte and Rhea. You could have. You could have. I'm not saying it should have been. You just could have.
You could have made an argument for it. You could have.
But like this year, there's no argument. There's no
none. There's none.
And in fact, I like the only time there should have been any question of like main eventing WrestleMania or a night was like when Becky Lynch was at her like I'm the man peak. Like when she was the best thing going in the WWE during that time period, when she was at her height, like she's the only argument that you could make at that point where like you should main event one of the nights of WrestleMania. Other than that, like I don't see like I'm sorry. Like it's just like it's you know it's just not the ladies aren't on the same. They've come so far. I'm not crapping on the ladies at all, so don't take it that way. I'm just saying at the end of the day, everybody tunes in to see Roman Reigns and CM Punk and like it, you know, it just is what it is. So, but no, this Heyman being in Punk's corner, I love it with where they're gonna go with it. One, I think it finally, after this long Roman Reigns career arc, this is finally his, regardless if they bring Brock back at all, this finally this is the thing that Vince saw in him when he was in the Shield and then tried to shove him down all of our throats as the new big baby face, the guy that was going to replace Cena. He finally gets there. This is what will make him an official babyface because he's still a tweener right now. This will make him the journey complete. And so I think that's the interesting part of this is like having Punk be the driving force behind that is really interesting with Heyman being in his corner. There's a lot of story there. And that's what's interesting because like the Reigns, and then you throw in Rollins in this, and Rollins has seemed like kind of like the third wheel with this, but I think that's the point of the whole storyline is Rollins is coming across of like, what about me? What about me? And I think it's supposed to be like that, and I think that's interesting about it too.
Which is why I think Seth Rollins is going to win the match.
I think so too.
Hey, I still stick by the same thing. The Watchman is going to end up managing Seth freaking Rollins. I guarantee it. And I stand behind it.
That would be the swerve of all swerves, and honestly, it would be a very intriguing angle because Seth Rollins doesn't need the mouthpiece. Seth Rollins has gotten much better on the mic in these recent years, but Heyman and Seth would definitely be a new monkey wrench that actually it intrigues me. But another thing that we haven't really touched on yet, and I think this would add a new interesting layer to this version of Roman Reigns. This Roman Reigns hasn't been emotionally hurt yet. So if Paul Heyman turns on Roman Reigns, and you see that vulnerability of Roman Reigns, he ain't been hurt yet.
Like
So,
like the
and not
Undertaker, Paul Bear, right?
He. Don't get me wrong. He's lost some matches. He lost to Cody, and he lost. Hell, he took the pin in that 6-man at Crown Jewel. He took the pin. So he's lost matches. He lost the Money in the Bank, the Bloodline Civil War. So he's taken pins, but he's never been like hurt. Like on a real level of hurt.
Yeah.
So
I like the comparison of the Paul Bearer Undertaker thing.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. So it's like I want to see where they go with it with Roman. Like, do they? I'm gonna be honest with you. I would love to see, and this is what I think could end up happening when Roman Reigns was babyface, like the big dog run, and he always had like a crash out moment where he would just destroy any and everything in his path. It's like no matter if you were cheering him or booing him, if he had a crash out moment, it got like pop of the night. Because that's what people wanted to see. Like, I ain't worried about you talking. Get in there, wreck the building, get out. The way people want to see, like the way people want to see Jey Uso bring back crash out pandemic Jey Uso for Gunther in his WrestleMania match. I would love to see a crash out Roman Reigns after being like emotionally just ripped by Paul Heyman. I want to see a Roman Reigns crash out. I just want to see what that looked like for a prolonged period of time. I just want to see it.
I have a question. So this is not on the Heyman Punk thing, but what do you think damages Jay's status more? Losing the match to Gunther and having a great match, or winning the title and having a bad match?
Winning the title and having a bad match.
This match,
this match has to,
because
I feel like with Gunther and the type of matches he has had, they might need to steal the show.
They have to.
They have to.
Jay is super over with the crowd. Don't get me wrong. This is not hating on Jay. But like, dude, his matches are kind like this, at least lately, have just been like
repetitive.
He's just gotten sloppy. Like, that spear isn't even a spear anymore. He just kind of like into him. Like, it's so weird. Like,
which is why I think bringing Jimmy into it is the best thing that could have happened.
I hope so.
I do. For Gunther, for that angle, for Gunther to do what he did to Jimmy Uso on Monday Night Raw. I hope Jey Uso just dips back into that crash out pandemic Jey Uso. Just for this. Because because people don't understand, pandemic Jey Uso was one of the best wrestlers of that time frame. He was having really good matches during that COVID era.
Dude, I was at this match. I was literally in Detroit for him versus Roman Reigns. That match is great. Now, there's a lot
that match was good.
There's a lot of emotion behind it, which elevated it, of course. But I mean, like, it's just he's relied way too much on that stupid super kick. Like if I could look, one of my favorite finishers of all time is Sweet Chin Music by Shawn Michaels. He's my favorite wrestler of all time. If I could do away with the super kick for like 5 years, I would be so happy. It is such a crappy move now that everybody relies on it and everybody uses it. And it's just like, it's so overdone. Like if I was a writer or some kind of creative head at WWE, the first thing I would do if I got hired would be like, I'm outlawing super kicks for a whole year. It's just so stupid.
Ironically, one of Shawn Michaels' greatest matches before we move on to the next segment was the match that he wasn't allowed to use the Sweet Chin Music when he faced Randy Orton.
Survivor. So what was that? Survivor Series 07?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ironically, it was at Survivor Series that he used the sharpshooter. So yeah, that was one of his greatest matches because he couldn't use it. So he was doing everything in order to keep Randy Orton down, but without Sweet Chin Music, he just couldn't keep him down.
No.
But going into the next segment, I gotta ask y'all this because I've seen some shoot interviews before in my life, and I've seen a lot of other things as far as wrestling. But look, SmackDown was one of those things. I have to ask y'all, like I said, I watched wrestling. Y'all digest it. Was that Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Flair promo? Was that a shoot interview? Was that a shoot?
I don't think it was full, but I do think it was partial because I do think it was. I think it was a little bit of realness in there. Because I know they said because I know like it's been reported like a lot of that was like after the Chicago crowd like booed the life out of Charlotte Flair. I love passionate crowds. Don't get me wrong. I love the hot crowds like the Chicagos, the Phillies, the international crowds. I love those crowds, the New York crowds. Don't get me wrong. I love those crowds. But I hate it when they try to hijack promos because how is a character supposed to develop if they can't speak?
Yeah, well, all right. I'm gonna push back against that. If you're good on the mic, you should be able to control the crowd. And she froze. You are Charlotte Flair.
Hey, but here's where I push back. A Dominic Mysterio, who's trying to develop his character. Part of him developing his character, you got to hear him speak at some point. You got to hear him at some point if he's trying to grow his character.
I know, but
so I get this. No, I get the Charlotte part. No, I agree with you 100% on that. As a woman, as arguably the most dominant woman we've seen in the WWE like ever, as far as like just wins on wins on wins, I agree with you there. But like,
I get what you're saying too.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, like
what chant was out of control.
Mm.
And it just was like when they did the what chant or the crowds, and it just got to the point where you couldn't even enjoy a promo at all because every moron in the crowd and even the best on the mic couldn't like deter it. So I get what you're saying, but that segment was weird. I watched that.
I saw it too. That was like, ugh.
It was odd because Charlotte froze. It was then odd because Tiffy looked better on the mic than she ever has.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just dropped the bomb about like you suck in marriages, and then just rolled out of the ring. So I don't think it was a shoot, but it was real weird. Like, yeah, like that. You suck in your marriages. I'm out. Like, oh, it was just really odd. The whole segment was weird. I don't even know how to like really go into how I felt about it. Like when Tiffany Stratton dropped the mic and rolled out after saying that Charlotte can't even like get a marriage right. Like one, I was like, ooh, that's some, but it wasn't just the thing. Cause like they'll say personal stuff here and there. Like that didn't really bother me too much. It's the fact that like she dropped out of the ring. The two things that weirded me out was Tiffany doing that, dropping the mic and rolling out of the ring right like a little kid running away, like, oh, I just said something stupid to mom and dad. And
What the fuck?
you know what I'm saying? Like, like you're a little kid and you drop an F-bomb in front of dad and you realize and you just run off because you know you're gonna get your butt whooped. Like you're like, nah, I'm out. I'm just gonna. And then how Charlotte was just, it's like she wasn't prepared.
No.
Real weird. And she just looked off. And so that was it was just real weird. Like she started out the segment of saying like, this is power. And then Tiffy came back. I can't remember what she exactly said. She's like, no, this is power. And it worked. And as soon as that line dropped, Charlotte didn't know what to do.
I mean, I like you said earlier before we went on the air, Charlotte doesn't look like Charlotte anymore.
She's not in it. It's like she's not in it.
Is she? No, she doesn't look. Her look, at one point, her look was like, it was good. But now it's just like she looks like she's a little bit more scrawnier. And it's just like, what has happened? Like, because when she first came back, she looked great. But then now it's just like, damn, did you stop taking creatine or something? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like she's lost weight in the last, since the Rumble.
Well, I mean, stress will bring that. I mean, stress, sometimes you do fluctuate and defluctuate in your weight at times.
Maybe because she is going through another divorce. Like, I mean, and she's got to be, and it's a fellow wrestler that's still active.
Exactly. So it's like, it's got to be eating at her.
That's a possibility. So maybe that's why Tiffy did that and just said something like that and then dropped the mic and ran off, like the kid that just dropped an F-bomb. But
honestly though, maybe I don't know. Maybe you hope she. Maybe I don't know. Maybe a wake up call for this angle. Maybe to kind of piss Charlotte off to get something out of this, because this has been the most disappointing build I've seen for a match that I know is going to be good in a long time.
Yeah, because
that last thing
you said was right, because Jay and Gunter, we didn't know if it was going to be good. With Tiffy and Charlotte, we know this is good.
We know they gonna rock the house.
Why do you is it? And this is the thing that I said before we went on the air. The booze that Charlotte was getting, it wasn't heat. It wasn't.
They're tired of her. They're tired of her.
It's go away heat.
It's that X-Pac go away heat. They're tired of her.
Yes, and that's not good at all.
They're tired of her because, and it's crazy because it's like it stems from her winning the Royal Rumble, and it's just crazy because everybody knew as soon as she was announced she was going to win the Royal Rumble, and she won the Royal Rumble, and now it's like, you've been gone all this time and you come back and you win the Rumble and you get another title shot just because you're Charlotte Flair.
The problem is that she's not good enough on the mic to overcome go away heat.
The fans feeling like that. She's not.
And Tiffy is good enough on the mic. In fact, I think she's better than Charlotte on the mic. I mean, that was kind of evident on Friday, last night, that you can't, if you can't overcome the fact that it's like Cena. We're going to get to that in a second here, but Cena, when he was Super Cena, he was good enough on the mic to deflect.
Mm-hmm.
Charlotte's just not. She's not good enough.
Because she's a one-trick pony on the mic. She has one thing that works. And that's all hail the queen. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's all hail. And it's honestly, it's pretty boring. And that's the problem. I mean, there's the famous clip of Alexa Bliss making fun of it.
I know.
That's one of my favorite, and that's one of my favorite clips too. Like Alexa Bliss, like
just
let me tell you something. I've always loved Alexa Bliss on the mic. I've always loved hearing her on the mic because she's just so goddamn good.
Well, and you could see if you go back and watch that segment with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair has a similar look to her on her face then than she did on last night. Like, just like, I don't know how to respond to this. Like, just blank look on her face. Like it's like, okay, I don't know how big of a UFC fan you guys both are.
Yeah.
But do you remember when Anderson Silva was at his peak?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember when he faced Forrest Griffin?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. You remember? Okay, now Forrest Griffin is Forrest Griffin. You know,
he was a hell of a fighter at the time.
One of those, you know, probably one of those, part of the most legendary fights in UFC history, which was the UFC reality show final between him and
the UFC Fighter 1 finale. It was him and
Shane Bandar or something like that.
No,
it was him and
Michael Bisping.
But yeah, I think it was him and Bisping.
No,
I have to look it up. I can't remember.
No, Stephan Bonner.
Stephan Bonner. Yeah. Him and Stephan Bonner, yeah.
Stephan Bonner. So, like, again, but as soon as he got into the ring with Anderson Silva and they, like, went like this, you could see the look in Forrest Griffin's face of, like,
oh, shit.
I am not even on this dude's, like, I can't even sniff his whatever. Like, there's no, and you saw it in the fight. And that's what Charlotte's looked like the last, like, again, you look at that Alexa Bliss promo and then you look at the last night. She just looked like a deer in headlights.
I'm not gonna lie.
That was her. Like, that was her. Like, if you go back to that Forrest Griffin Anderson Silva fight, like, Anderson Silva didn't knock him out. He knocked them down. Forrest Griffin took the piece out. Like, yep, nope, I'm done. That's it.
Yeah, dude ran out of the ring.
No, he actually didn't even hit him hard. I mean,
no, he didn't.
Because I'm like, what the? I'm like, what? That's Forrest Griffin.
Forrest Griffin was like, he was like, boy, screw this. I'm done. I'm done.
He did a jab. I never forget. He did a jab, right hook, and then he did a uppercut, and then he came up with a right hook again. And then Anderson just was leaning back like he was in the back and hit him right in the face. Bop! I was like, "Bow! Oh yeah, he out." And then he took it, and he ran out of the ring. I'm like, what the hell?
Because he knew if he didn't take that mouthpiece out and end the fight, Anderson Silva was going to do it for him.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you right now, I look back. So I was a huge Forrest Griffin fan, and I remember leading up to that fight. I'm like, if anybody's got a shot at going at Silva at that point, it was him because he had such a great chin. Like, and I'm like, and it was so simple. It was just a little like this. It wasn't even like a. It wasn't even like a. He just like stood like almost like swatted at a fly. Just went like this.
He walked right into it. It was like, wow. Like,
yeah. And I'm just sitting there going like, dude, it was. That's what Charlotte looked like, though. It just looked like a complete deer in headlights and didn't know what to do. That's a problem when you're supposed to be
the queen,
and you have no other like ability. Like, I'm trying to compare somebody like somebody like Bret Hart. His mic skills weren't that great, but you look at like when he went to like heel Bret Hart, like he was okay.
Heel Bret, yeah, because when he went heel, he was able to like he broadened up. He was able to really open himself up and really kind of, in a way, he was able to let loose.
Yeah,
and he was able to really let loose. And even though his mic still weren't great, the fact that he was like kind of able to be himself and let loose is like, okay, this version of you, I can get with this.
And that's the thing. Like I just look at Charlotte and I just go like, you know, she's what to me. I think this is the problem with the Charlotte go away heat. What they should have done, like honestly, what to me they should have done like a Rhea versus Charlotte rematch. It didn't even have to be for the title.
No,
like,
you're right.
Feud with somebody before you just shove her down, right? Because it was a very Vince move. That it reeked of Vince McMahon. On I'm coming back, and now I'm just going to immediately give you the title shot, and like she just should have gone into a I don't know, like come back and I don't know something. Like she just should have been in a better like some kind of feud, and I just don't think. And the thing is too is like now it's like, do you put Charlotte? You almost have to put Charlotte over.
No, you don't. Tiffany needs to win this.
I don't know because to gain because you to save Charlotte's
or
like she needs sympathy in any way, shape, or form. She's got to lose.
No, that's the dude. Okay, it depends on what you want to do with her character. Are you going to turn her baby face, or are you going to keep her a heel, dude?
I don't put her, but I don't. But here's the thing, though. She don't need. She needs to lose in it, and she needs to lose and immediately drop right out of the title picture. They need to do something with her that's not for the championship.
Oh, see, I think the whole
that's where I think her and Jade Cargill is going to go. That's where I think her and Jade Cargill is going to come to.
I like that feud, but I would save it. I wouldn't do it yet.
No, Jade's not ready for it. But the problem is though is that, like I said, that's got to be for the title. And honestly, no, it's not that feud because
it don't. Charlotte and Jade, no, it don't.
Well, no, but here's the thing though, like what Jade's first title run is going to be after she beats Bianca. That's
exactly.
But Charlotte, here's the thing: to save the heat that she should be getting, that they want her to get, where it's not go away heat, is you have her win the title.
I don't agree with that. I think she's got to lose, man. I don't agree.
But then
because if she wins the title, it gets worse.
Yeah, I mean,
I think if she wins, it gets worse.
If she loses, then it's gonna put her into obscurity at this point. If she loses, I think losing would add a layer, would kind of add a little slight layer to the character that she needs. If she wins, then it's like, oh, here we go again. I think it gets worse if she wins, because then it's like you give Tiffany Stratton the title only to bring Charlotte Flair back to give it to her. Yeah.
You're supposed to be establishing new superstars. What's the point of trying to establish Tiffany Stratton if you're going to let Charlotte Flair beat her? I think it gets worse.
I don't know. I know. I just, don't get me wrong. I think, I don't know. But do you bring Charlotte? Yeah. Well, again, maybe this is just about putting Tiffy over.
I think for sure. I don't know, man. I just feel like for Charlotte to save some face, she's got to lose, and like Champ said, kind of like she needs to fade a little bit, like have some matches here and there, but really like I don't know, just like, and honestly,
what
go ahead.
What would you do with her?
I would have her lose to Tiff. I would have her lose to Tiffy. And then kind of have her like, I don't know, like maybe win one hit, like kind of go between wins and losses, like not have her like find her full footing yet. You gotta establish some sympathy somewhere. If I think she needs to lose to Tiffy. She needs to lose. No. You don't want her to be a babyface, but I think if you have her go on like kind of a little losing streak, I'll give you an example. MVP when he was on SmackDown, he went on this ridiculously long losing streak, I think after like losing, I can't remember when, it was like around 07. He went on this ridiculously long losing streak, and he started gaining sympathy from the fans because the fans knew how talented he was. So it was like it started to gain sympathy. And then when he finally got that win, the fans was like, and then it kind of catapulted him back up into the career he ultimately had in WWE. I think this version of Charlotte Flair kind of needs something like that.
I mean, I don't think you're wrong in the aspect. I think Tiffy's going to win. But
I trust me. I know it's hard to try to call, but I just think
I don't know. That segment really made me think about this like way more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you do with Charlotte? Because I'm not quite. Oh my God, no way. Oh, sorry. This is we're at end of the Duke Houston. Houston just stole the ball, down by 1, 25 seconds left.
You're ahead of me. Don't talk.
Sorry.
You're ahead of me. Quit. You're ahead of me.
Sorry. I'm going to go pee real quick because I got to pee really bad. But, yeah, hold on.
Ooh. Not the putback. Ooh.
That was a nice little putback dunk right there, bro.
That was nice.
We'll wait to this end, and then we'll go into the Cena segment, guys.
That's fine. That's fine. Cause this game got me hooked. This game got me hooked.
Yeah.
Boy, talk about an unlikely final if we get Florida and Houston.
That'll be nasty. You know what? We was talking about, Matt Ryan and them earlier. You know what?
Uh-huh.
You know what they need to make, what shirts they need to make?
Mm-hmm.
Get F and set. That's what.
Bro.
Get F and set.
Who were they playing? They were playing Tampa. Yeah. And they called him on the hot mic saying that. I'm like, gee, y'all see why he our quarterback, right?
Oh boy. Wait, where are you guys at with the game?
The Cooper flag thing.
Well, they just I'm 7. Let's see, 19.6.
Yeah,
wow.
Houston at the free throw line. That's where I'm at.
He looked like he drunk at the damn line.
Boy, you stupid.
He looked like he drunk.
He's a kid.
You look like he damn drunk.
You're under.
Shit. Oh. Look like he drunk a fifth before the game.
Can you imagine?
What?
Here we go. I know you guys, so I'm gonna. Oh, okay. All right. Timeout. All right.
Oh. All right, now that moonshine ain't got you no more, is it?
Dude, can you imagine? That's some like 18, 19-year-old kid. You're at the free throw line in the final.
Oh,
go against Duke, or
he made it.
Both of them.
Don't foul.
Y'all just saw him make both free throws.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm already ahead of that.
Okay.
I'm. Duke calls a timeout. I'm not spoiling anything.
That's like you really can't get more clutch than being a young kid in a situation like that, knocking both of them down. You can't get more clutch than that.
Yeah, you're going against Duke. Final Four.
You're going against Duke. Shoot you. That make reputation right there.
I wonder is Phi Slamma Jamma if they going to come back to the game if they make the Natty?
I hope so, bro. That would be so legendary. I hope so.
You know, it'll be kind of like when Michigan made the Natty, and then all the Fab Five came back.
Yeah, if it's Houston and Florida, I want Phi Slamma Jamma to come back for Houston, and I want that Horford, Noah, Corey Brewer, team to come, that team to show up for Florida.
Yeah.
All right, I know I'm ahead of you guys, so I'm just gonna watch and.
Oh man, I can't wait to see this. 17 seconds of coming down to the nitty gritty. That is nice. Ooh, that's gonna be nasty. It's about to be nasty right here. I can already tell it.
Ooh. What we got?
Let's see. Is this going to be another like a Christian Laettner type of thing? You know, remember the shot?
Oh boy, I remember that.
Shot, yeah. All right, let's see. Let's see what you got.
All right, what we got?
You know where the ball going.
Oh!
Oh my God!
Oh no!
Oh my God!
Yep.
You hit both of these, game over.
Well, not game over.
Well, I mean, it'll be if you hit both, it's tough to drive 2.5 seconds to get a 3 unless you just throw that sucker up.
Does Duke have any timeouts left?
I don't know. I have to look and see when the overlay come back up.
So there's probably
honestly, I'm not sure if they do because they had to foul.
Yeah, there's 4 seconds left. Well,
okay, we're reviewing it right now.
they'll probably put another 1.5 seconds back on the clock, I think. Oh, maybe not. Oh, yeah. Another full second.
Another full second?
Yeah. So they put a full second back on the clock.
Damn.
Ooh.
You talk about pressure.
Where are you guys at?
2.5 seconds.
Okay. So you're not okay.
No.
The ref is on the mic after the review talking about the time. I think they're about to put back on the clock. So 3.7 seconds.
Yeah, 3-point second and ODB. He at the free throw line.
Did you just say ODB at the free throw? I can't with you, champ. I can't with you.
Wow. No.
Hey, yo.
Oh.
Hey, yo. Don't foul. Ball game. Houston, Florida national championship game.
Florida.
Oh man. Who y'all got?
Florida.
I got Florida.
Yeah.
They're all Florida's offense. Florida offense is too bad doing.
Oh Florida man, there goes Akeem Olajuwon. He's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's there.
But yeah, Olajuwon was there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Florida offense just on another level. I got Florida.
Awesome. for the third time in school history. Man, that's good. That's a great game. So let's move into the last segment, the very last segment. I've been waiting on y'all to talk about this all week long. I've been waiting on this since Monday. I'm not going to lie. Because as much as I'm one of the co-hosts of this show, I'm a fan of you guys. So I'm just going to be real. So y'all go ahead, just cook. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the meal. What are y'all thoughts on Cody and John Cena's promo? Cook the
Go
meal.
first, guys.
Okay. I think, and I've said this, and I'll keep saying this, I think Cody's run as a babyface champion has been amazing. Now, people are going to push back against that. Oh, it's been boring and blah, blah, blah. It is near impossible to be a babyface and be a champion for any longer than just a couple months because people get tired of babyfaces. They just do. And I just want to say right now that what Cody is doing in these promos with Cena is showing how good Cody is on the mic. Cody's been flipping great on the mic. That last segment that they did with like when Cena was about to walk out of the ring, he's like, at least that I've never been told that I can't wrestle. Whoo! Like, fucking cooked them right there. Like, just, and dude, because everybody they even say it in the promo. Cody even says, like, oh, everybody, let's wait for Cena. He's going to cook me. And so I just want to say that what Cena and Cody are doing right now is bravo. Like, I just, like, it's just great. It's like what they're doing. I was mildly disappointed that Cena was going to go against Cody for the main event at WrestleMania. I'm like, okay. And then they did the Cena heel turn. And now Cody's completely stepped up his game.
Mm-hmm.
And what they've done, because this was a very, I've brought this up multiple times. It was a very real possibility that the marks would cheer for Cena over Cody. And they've done such a masterful job, Cena himself, the writers, and Cody, both of them on the mic, of keep controlling this crowd and keeping Cody as the babyface. It's actually been stupidly brilliant. Mm-hmm. It really has been. The fact that there hasn't really happened yet. Now, I fear once we get to the match that still may happen, but I just want to say bravo to the writing team, Cody and Cena. Like, they have done a great job of doing this. That's my rant. Cody is probably the best babyface champion we've had in years, and that says something. And it's his spot as the top guy, as the new Cena, is well deserved and earned.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I think Cody Rhodes has been the best babyface champion since 05 World Heavyweight Champion Batista.
Yes, and I think he's overrated.
And he for me is still extremely overrated as a performer and a character.
Oh, Batista?
Yeah. Batista's still extremely underrated as a performer and a character, because you just look at 290 to 320 pounds, you just assume, oh, he can't do this and he can't do this. Batista, at his peak, put on banger matches at his size. You go back to WrestleMania 23 with The Undertaker, the entire Triple H trilogy from WrestleMania 21 through Backlash, and then that Hell in a Cell. Like, but yeah, Cody. This and I'll say this. Okay, I made a video a while back, and I admitted I was wrong because they were saying, like, the Damian Priest World Heavyweight Championship run at the time was better than the Cody WWE title run, and I said, I kind of said, like, well, I don't think none of y'all really cared too much about the Damian Priest title run, and then all of a sudden y'all just want to throw this out there. And I had like one of the Wrestle Talk people kind of check me on that. He said, no, people People have been legit saying this, that we've been caring about the Damian Priest title run. And now I'm thinking to myself, the same lot of people who were telling me that y'all cared about Damian Priest's title run more than Cody Rhodes, y'all are the same people who don't want Drew McIntyre feuding with Damian Priest at WrestleMania.
Yeah, because I think it's boring.
Because they think it's boring.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or Drew McIntyre deserves better than Damian Priest, forgetting the fact that Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest is the perfect way to go, considering this is a year, maybe more in the making. So the match makes sense from the jump. Damian Priest is the one that cashed in on Drew McIntyre to win the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 40. Damian Priest beat him 2 more times in title matches. If you want to go Clash at the Castle, and if you want to go Money in the Bank, where Drew McIntyre won the briefcase and cashed it in at the same night, Damian Priest has had Drew McIntyre's number. Eliminated him at the Royal Rumble, eliminated him at the Elimination Chamber. This match at WrestleMania makes sense. And it's well, Drew McIntyre deserves better. I'm like, bro, it makes sense.
It does. I will say this, though, because I actually think that Damian Priest's title run was a lot better than expected. Because I always thought
it was
odd. Damian is actually a way better babyface than he is a heel. He's a really
facts.
He is awful. Honest to God. But I don't think it's not Damian Priest's fault, because like after he lost the title and they had that little run, he had a little run with Rhea, like he just kind of disappeared for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's part of the problem with this, is that he kind of disappeared. He really didn't. I mean, he kind of was in a feud with who was it? I don't see.
I think it was Finn. It was Finn, I think.
Well, Finn, yeah, and like it was kind of like, and that dragged on too long, and people got bored of that. And and the thing is, I think that's the problem. But you're right, though. This is a year in the making between these two. Of course, this makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like again, wrestling fans are some of the most fickle. Like they will yell and scream for something that they want, and then they get what they want, and then they complain about that a month later.
Mm-hmm.
Like they are, like it's just so bad, and so it's like the Cody thing. Look at the lead up to WrestleMania last year. Everybody wanted Roman Rock. That's everybody wanted, and then we got that, and they complained about that because Cody won the Royal Rumble, and then. Everybody got behind Cody, and as soon as Cody won the title, it was, and everybody was. Then as soon as they turned, they were like, "Oh, Cody's boring." It's just like the Roman Reigns thing. Everybody complained about Roman Reigns, and he never resigned. He never defends the title, and he rarely ever wrestles, and he's just a part timer. And as soon as he went away and he lost the title,
we want Roman.
We want Roman, and Cody sucks. It's just like, oh God. It's like watching a woman try to pick out what they want to eat. It's just it's so bad. So
it's like it's coming, and then it happens, and you just like, God dang, bro.
Like just enjoy the ride a little bit. It's just like it's like last year. I remember when they probably the best 10 minutes in wrestling history. And people were still bitching because it wasn't Austin. And I'm like,
Undertaker was the perfect. Undertaker made too much sense. Undertaker made way more sense when you play in the fact Rock is like final boss. No, Undertaker's like no, boy. I am the final boss.
It makes way more sense. And on top of it, I made a whole video about it. Like, if Austin comes out, you are going to want – Austin's not going to come out and just stun Rock. You want them to brawl. So you're going to take away from the actual match itself, which you don't want to do. It's why Taker coming out made so much more sense, because he can show up out of like supernaturally, show up, choke slam him, and then poof, go away. and then it makes Rock go away because he can, mysteriously take away the Rock. Like, it just made so much more sense. And people still complained about it. And it's like, you got the 10 best minutes in wrestling history, like ever. Everybody lost their collective minds for 10 minutes. And
I'm telling you.
Still
and people still complain. Like, I'm telling you, like, and the thing is like, the underrated part of that sequence that kicked it off was Cody kicking out of the spear Samoan Spike combo. That's the underrated part of it. That set it up. And then Cena comes out, does his thing. Rock comes out, then Undertaker comes out, and it's like, oh my God.
You forgot about Seth coming out too.
It's not just the fact that Seth came out, it's the fact that Seth came out with Shield music and gear. Dude, that's what did it.
It took everybody like, wait a minute, is
Moxley here?
Yeah, like everybody's like, what the dude? It was everybody complained. And
that was like, if the Cody kicking out part was underrated, the most underrated part of the whole thing was Seth coming out the Shield music and Shield gear, because that's just Seth being Seth Rollins and being the genius that he was, because he knew if he comes out the Shield music and Shield gear, Roman is so still like, yeah. I can't stand you for what he did. If I do that, I could probably turn him away and get his focus off of you just enough for you to do what you need to do. And sure enough,
in the same 10 minutes, we got another Rock Cena stare down. We got an Undertaker Rock stare down and Undertaker coming back. And we got Shield Seth. And we had Roman's streak finally end in the span of 10 minutes.
Because of amazing storytelling.
Yes! And all of the storytelling wrapped up into, like, everything was connected. And it's just like, it's just beautiful. So to watch, and I'm curious to see how this plays out. Because, there's rumors of Austin being back. So if you're going to do the Austin Rock thing, this is a possibility too. But they got to do it right, which right now I really have a lot of faith. When it comes to the main event stuff, I got a ton of faith in Triple H and what they do in the main event stuff. Like, they are so great at the main event stuff right now.
So, all right. So I gotta delve back into the topic real quick.
Go ahead.
Johnson, this is why I feel like John Cena is the greatest. This is why I feel like John Cena is the greatest ever on the mic. That's definitely like an opinion. It's an opinion-based topic. But this is why I feel like John Cena is the greatest ever on the mic, because it's like he always gets it, and he always knows what to say, and he always knows how to pull the heartstrings exactly how he needs to get them and push them. And like with him being a heel, it's like, okay, now I'm a heel. Now I get to tick you all off. How can I do that knowing you're about to cheer me? Oh, no. For 25 years, I've been in a toxic relationship with you. I'm going to win the championship and I'm going to take it away. I'm retiring with it. I am going to ruin wrestling. When would you ever think you would hear that come out of John Cena's mouth? I am going to ruin wrestling. John Cena is like a microphone genius. And don't get me wrong, Cody, when he got his stuff in, he cooked him. Like, my favorite line of the entire segment. Everybody's terrified of you on the mic. I'm not, because I know you got more D in that promo than you do in your jorts. And I'm like, I laughed my ever beloved butt off when Cody dropped that line. I was like, and it's like when he curses, it's like he knows when to curse to like make it matter and make it mean something. He doesn't curse much, but when he does, it's like he knows when to do it. Like the go F yourself at the Elimination Chamber, and then the line in front to Cena then, or the or the initial segment where he was like, you better bring the old John Cena, not this whiny beat. Like he knows when to say certain things, but at the same time, though, that Cena promo where, oh my God, like Cena on, bro, what was the line? I help make billionaires. You just stole their money. Like, my God, like like that. Let me tell you something. Like,
dude, but then
I kind of
the Cody line where he brings up Vince McMahon. Oh,
I was chosen by the people. You were chosen by someone who's not here anymore, who we're not allowed to talk about.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, the people that have been crapping on Cody for the past year have not been paying attention, and they just like to complain. Dude, that was some of the best. It's a rarity when somebody gets in the ring and can go toe to toe with John Cena on the mic. Because you're right, it's an opinion that Cena's the best on the mic ever. It's pretty much, it's a universal for the most part. Like, it's universal. Like, Cena's the best on the mic. Like, it just is what it is. Like, everybody kind of accepts that. So for somebody like Cody to step in there and go toe to toe with him on the mic, and it's legit, and Cena's not really holding back at all. Like,
he wasn't holding back at all. No. Like the Nepo baby line. You're an errand boy who got lucky. Like Cena was like dropping bombs.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. So and I was, when I'm watching it, I'm like watching Cena go. I'm like, oh man, here we go. He's just gonna eat Cody alive. And nope. There wasn't an ounce of fear. Like, it was the complete opposite of Charlotte Flair. There wasn't an ounce of fear in Cody at all. It honestly is amazing to look at what Cody was. They even brought the Stardust stuff into it. Like, what Cody was to now, where he's on Cena's level.
Let me tell you something. The beginning of that promo, hey, shout out to Eminem. It was almost like a little 8 Mile callback at the beginning of the promo. Well, let's see, because you remember the final battle in 8 Mile. If you've seen the movie, where he's like, yeah, I'm this, yeah, I'm this, yeah, I'm that, yeah, I'm that. Everybody knows it. What are you gonna say? And I like the little callback. Yeah, I got a lisp. Some of the S's. Ooh, I can't say those. And just like, oh, and yeah, like, and you brought up the Stardust thing, and what else you said? Oh yeah, I started a rival company and all this stuff. It's just like, bro, like, why are you bringing me so much joy with this segment, bro?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, man. That is one of the more enjoyable promos. I cannot wait to WrestleMania. You got 2 weeks. We're 2 weeks away from WrestleMania. Ironically, is WrestleMania the same day as Easter, right? Or is it not?
WrestleMania Sunday is, yeah.
Yeah. The same day as Easter. So that's going to be a very, very packed weekend. And that's going to be a good weekend. We got the draft coming up. We got WrestleMania coming up in a couple of weeks. It's going to be a good one. But on that note,
I gotta do some draft research, man, because we need to have a good. I wouldn't mind us having a good NFL draft, like, special, as far as like, who do we think should go where, here, who makes the most sense. Yeah, I'm gonna have to dig in and do some research on that.
Yes, indeed. But on that note, man, we ain't got to go home, but we got to get the hell out of here. So on that note, man, look, it's been fun. Been always a privilege, a pleasure, and an honor to talk to each and every last one of y'all about sports and about the wrestling, about the road to WrestleMania. And gotta ask, and everybody who's watching right now, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, man. We appreciate your support. We appreciate y'all supporting the movement. And any final words, guys?
Shout out to everybody. Like to piggyback off what Champ says, shout out to everybody who's kind of who's kind of starting to join in the movement. Like, you know, the subscribers, I'm pretty sure we're well over 150 now. I'm hoping we're touching that 200 plateau at that 200 mark at some point. Like, everybody just keep coming out. Just keep coming out and supporting us, because we, you know what I'm saying, we just three dudes who enjoy what we do. We enjoy talking sports. So keep bringing it. Y'all keep bringing the love. We're going to keep bringing this fire. We're going to keep bringing this heat. We're going to keep bringing this good quality podcast content and entertainment. Shout out to y'all. I'm going to hit y'all with the slogan, because y'all know the topic I thought about is the topic I talked about.
Flash.
Yeah, I just want to say, thanks for everybody tuning in. Like I said, we're up to 150 subscribers, or we're getting there. We're getting real close.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just said, like, comment, subscribe, just do it. You know, share it. You know, as many avenues as we have when it comes to marketing and stuff now, it's still word of mouth. That is the best form of marketing in general. So please, you know, talk to anybody that listens to any kind of sports content. So, you know, you can find us everywhere on, you know, TikTok, Instagram. So, you know, and this is some of my most enjoyable things that I get to do in my life. So I appreciate that. And like I said, I appreciate everybody that does tune in, whether you turn in live or you tune in later on in the week. Much appreciated. So, yeah. Real quick plug. This coming week, shout out to the Sports for You podcast. Shout out to John. Shout out to Trail. Shout out to Big Nine. Shout out to Big Nick Freeze. We coming. We seeing y'all next week for y'all wrestling edition. We coming in. So y'all get ready for us. And if y'all ain't following them, please do. We're gonna be on their Sports for Wrestling. I believe it's their April 9th. It's the April 9th episode. I believe it's gonna be me and Champ on there. So definitely, y'all check us out.
They call them the best in the West for a reason. And on that note, let's get up out of here. Shout out to Columbus, Georgia. Shout out to Madison, and shout out to Wisconsin. On that note, we are out.